All right, everybody, we are live here in the Grooveplex studios for the first state of the Groovion of the year. So today, I'm Mike Filsame, as you know, and I'm going to be joined with my partner, Matt Seralta, and we will be also getting some guests joining us today. We're going to be having Husni and David Lemon both coming in to talk about Groove.CM, development and refactoring, answering a lot of your questions. And then we're going to transition over to Groove.AI. Artie is in the wings over there, waiting to come on, probably in about an hour. And we're going to talk about all things Groove.AI. So we're going to start with all things Groove.CM, and then we're going to wrap up and talk about things that are going on with just Groove, the company. And I just want to talk to my producers. Mike, I'm getting unbearable amount of static and distortion. It's a little uncomfortable for me. All right, so I've got my trusty screen over here. We have my screen that we can share so that we can do full production right from here inside the studio for you. But we want to start and first bring on David Lemon and Husni. So let's bring them in. Let's see how that looks when we pop them in.
Hey, everybody.
There's David Lemon. We hear you loud and clear.
Hello, everyone.
All right. And folks at home, do me a favor. If you can, let us know if you can hear. You're putting it in there. Hello from London. Hey, Mike and Donna and everyone. Audio very much out of sync. That sometimes happens with StreamYard, and then if you refresh, it should help out. Yeah, some people saying out of sync for sure. Yeah, that's usually just do us a favor. Let us know if it's everything's out of sync or just our studio. Husni, do a sound check for us, and then David, do a sound check and let us know if they're in sync and it's just us.
1, 2, 3. That's easy.
Thank you. And
it
David,
looks okay for Husni.
Like
it looks okay for Husni, Mike. When you're talking, there's a slight delay.
All right. So when I'm talking, there's a slight delay. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll work on that on our end. We're not exactly sure. Let me just make sure my producer. Mike, do you have earpieces in? Are you hearing what they're saying? Okay, cool. All right. How about now? Are we in sync now?
1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No.
All right. We're just going to have to put up with that for today.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So let's start with Groove.CM. We're going to talk about the refactoring, where we are, how we got here, everything. I'm assuming most of you have seen the video inside of the Facebook group, but there's probably a good 25% of you joining today. So there's a State of the Groovion. Haven't been in the Facebook group, haven't seen that. So I'm going to do a quick little recap on that for you. So when we started with Groove, we started first with the technology for GrooveCard. And from there, we decided that we wanted to branch out and build at first just Groove pages. And then after Groove pages, we wanted to do, we said, hey, if we're going to do Groove pages, let's do GrooveCell. Then we added GrooveMail, GrooveMember. And the more that we promoted these lifetime deals, the more users we were getting. It exceeded the revenue that we thought we were going to get by a factor of 4. So we said, hey, we're going to build a full-blown competitor to Kartra that has the EverWebinar built in, plus a blogging platform built in, and plus an e-commerce like Shopify built in. And then what we still have as the future app, some things still yet to come, like the help desk and surveys and things like that. We'll cover all of that today. Our plans for all of that. But in order to do that, we needed to get an offshore development center. And that offshore development center was a company out of India. We're not going to get too much into that, but it was 2.5 years of just hell with them. Lots of promises, me getting on, talking with the owners, losing my, losing my mind with them constantly, telling them that 10% of their developers were good, really good, that we would love to have kept with us with Groove. And the other 90%, as I said in that video, came out of the Barbizon School of Coding.
It's important to mention why we made that decision as well. Coming out of COVID, it was hard to find coming out. With COVID, it was really hard to find developers. where for the ad that was done with the video too. This company came along with a
Just a note, we cannot hear Matt.
Don't hear Matt. Mike.
Also, Mike, can you see the show notes? Okay. Now we don't hear any of you at the studio.
You don't hear Mike is not talking.
No.
Don't worry. We have a backup if needed. Do you hear me now?
I hear
Yes.
you now, Mike.
And how about Matt?
What about me?
It's a low. If
Yeah, it's not great.
yeah, not too bad.
They don't hear Matt?
No.
Matt, you got to do a testing 1, 2.
Testing. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the
good
mic
now.
that's on.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one though.
Helps to use the one that's on.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Just 1 second, and then we're going to roll in. Hopefully, no more distractions. Mike, the volume in my ear is at 150, blowing my drums out. Thanks.
Also, while we're paused and doing tech stuff, do you want to try to refresh your connection to StreamYard to fix the sync issue?
Mike would have to do that. So let's do that. I'm going to have Mike do.
There we go.
Well, I guess yes, they will.
Here, I'll turn my camera on.
Hey, Donna.
Hi, guys.
Nice
Hi,
to see you,
everyone.
Donna.
Thanks for handling and bearing with us for these technical issues, but it's worth having them refreshed now because the message is so important. I find it very, very distracting when a voice and video are out of sync. So
Correct.
It's so good to see some of these names from back when we were doing live streams daily. Like it's so good to have you guys here. Dean and Gabriel, Paul. I know all of these names from our frequent live streams.
we miss you guys too. I really do miss doing live streams. It's been a while.
Yeah, well, hopefully with help of Husni, we'll get back to it.
That's right. No
Very
pressure,
soon.
Hosni.
Thanks for the pressure, man.
Hosni, turn your G light on.
Sorry?
Turn your G light on.
Ah, yeah, of course. Sure. I'm not sure if it's going to work as it should with the camera. Let's see.
You have to turn the intensity down. It doesn't work at 100%, but it works really nice at like 30%.
Yeah, let me see.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Do you hear us now?
Yes, and you're in sync.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
Matt?
All right. Matt?
Testing. Testing.
Yeah, the one on your right, Matt.
This one.
On the right.
Just move the one on your left towards Mike. Get it out
All
of the way.
right.
Yeah, there you go.
So
as a governor's there for a minute.
yeah. So let's jump in. We were talking about. I'll just wrap that part of it up. We were talking about how the company that we were using in India, just 2.5 years of broken promises and just real terrible support developers from them, the worst. Really, what should take literally 30 days was taking 6 months. And if you notice what happened with Groove when we first started, when we had David on the team with Husni, originally with Matt, Naus and Finn and Dean, we were this internal team. And if you remember, we launched Groove.CM quick, awesome, stable. And then it was when we brought in all of this new development team that did Groove Member, and then we had to do the 1.0, and then we had to redo that with a 2.0, and that was somebody that we brought in in-house, and Groove Blog took much longer than it should have. Groove Webinars, all these things were when we brought on this new team, and they just really let us down. So from there, what we ended up doing is when we did Groove.ai, we have Artie who's sitting right over there. Artie hired his own team. He had a great way to do it. And within six months, we were able to hire Just a fantastic team. And we looked at that and we said, hey, if we can get that type of talent at 2/3 the price that we were paying the offshore development center in India, then let's just rip off the Band-Aid, get out of that deal with them, which we did. And we hired new developers. And Husni, let's bring Husni back on if we can. And Husni describes it as, Husni, talk about the developers every time you say that, what it feels like when you're going to go look at their code.
Yeah, actually, I was always enjoying when I watch because when a new developer joins the team, you have to be careful with him, review the codes carefully and everything. And always, I'm enjoying reading the codes and the changes they made. What impressed me the most, they were able to integrate with the team and start understanding the application, the codes, and everything real quick. And this is so impressive for a developer who freshly joined the team.
Yeah, and so Matt, one of the interesting things was, for us, we had to have that tough conversation. Was we were refactoring the code with the previous company, and we told all the users we're going to refactor the code. We refactored the code with, we'll just call them Company X for now, so it'll just be easier for us to talk. So we refactored the code with Company X. That was something that I was told would be 3 months, and it turned out to be about 6.5, 7 months, that we told the users there would be no development while we refactor the code. And then we get rid of those people. We bring on the new company, the new developers, and that team and Husni come to us with a decision that says the refactoring code and the previous code, we're refactoring back to square one. With they still didn't know what they were doing, and these new developers wanted to come in starting in September of last year and go and start the project all over again. And Husni, if you remember, you told us that it would be originally end of November. I said, no way is that going to be. And I gave you to January 1st, and January 1st became February 1st, which I was okay with. What happened in February is we were going to be launching the traffic syndicate, and I said, look, we can't do that during February. I'm going to give you another month to do it. We tested the code internally the best we could, and we Matt, why don't you talk about what it was like with Husni when you were talking about let's do it on a Sunday, and what your thoughts were when we were going to go live, and what
I was keen on. The thing is, we had set up an entire pre-prod environment, a pre-production environment where we tested, a lot of the features, make sure everything worked. We had a lot of people within the organization testing, David being one of the first one, many members of the support team, and we would take turns and try to find bugs and things that need to be improved. And we had, by the end there, we had really, really good success at testing. I mean, the last week we couldn't find bugs. We tried, but we couldn't find any bugs. So the idea was to rip off the Band-Aid on the old app and put the new software all together. So we planned to do it early in the morning, like 4 a.m. It was supposed to be done in about 4 hours, which it took about 4 hours to indeed, replace the files on the server, replace all the containers and all that kind of stuff. But then the next thing I heard from Husni is like, okay, I'm so proud. Everything is working good. Everything's looking good. But we do need to index all of the database. So I'm like, okay, let's index the database. Hang up the phone, and then 2 hours later, I'm like, so how is indexing coming? And Husni's like, yeah, we got 1 of 5 completed. I'm like, oh, okay. Called a couple hours later, we got 2 of 5 completed. So anyway, he ended up being quite a bit of a bigger job than we expected, and a lot of the delays that occurred during that week was things that was hard to test on an environment with a test environment that doesn't really have live activities, that doesn't have live users, but rather just our company and our members testing it. So part of the challenge is, how do you go from having 10 testers to rolling it out to all of our users at one time? And the difference is not, it's 500,000 to 1. It's not 2 to 1. So that was one of the challenges. based on the new code, what was the ability of the new server to actually receive all the backlog of transactions that needs to be done, like publishing a web page, sending a payment transaction, and so on. Everything has a queue. And so the rollout was a little bit more challenges than we expected. We expected this to take 4 hours, be able to get on Groovion and Union and say, hey guys, check this out. Look how much faster it is, how much it's working. But indeed, it became a little bit more of a challenge. One that we tackled heads on, right? We didn't stop for 1 minute, I think. Hosni hadn't had sleep for like 3 days when we roll everything out. And actually, when you talk to him, he had the beer was just about down to his collar. And
Weird.
it was crazy, but we pulled through it. So
Thank you, Matt. And so, and then we're going to move on to actual meat and potatoes. We're going to show you exactly where we are with the app. But just for the next minute, there was a situation where I would talk to you, Matt, and I would talk to Husni, and this was happening Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and for lack of a better term, it was being reported to me that everything is under control. And from Donna's point of view and Husni's point and Robert Murray's point of view, it was like, no, everything's not under control. There's, they're coming at us with torches and pickaxes, and the barbarians are at the gate, rightfully so. And so then we started that other investigation. Okay, let me see what's actually happening here. Show us what's happening in the Facebook group, and all the screenshots came in. We put together a meeting and a game plan, and we said, okay, we have a communication problem with the members, and we need to communicate.
I think I can take a lot of the blame for this. I was coming in from a point of view of performance, right? The database working good, the servers being up, the system being smiley on all the data that you look, but I wasn't coming at it from a user point of view necessarily. So some of the bugs that were affecting the users wasn't quite reflecting in the performance log or the security log and all that kind of stuff on the servers. So
yeah, well, I appreciate
I was so focused on the application being up and running, all the jobs being completed properly, payments going through, all that kind of stuff that didn't really notice when you try to change something, you get a blank screen, right? And
yeah, well, what happened was when we got on with Husni, because it was just me and Donna and Husni, and I said, Donna, let me get you on with Husni, because I'm getting different information that we're pretty good, and we'll be fixed by the end of the day tomorrow, and we'll just discuss it on the State of the Union or the State of the Groovion. And we got on a call, and sure enough, Husni assured Donna the way that she was assuring me. And this is exactly the way it went down. I said, are we in or are we out?
You're out. Your video is out.
Oh, my video's out. Okay.
Yeah, your audio is in, but your video is out. We saw Mike Jones for a little while, so
yeah, we'll work on that for you. Don't worry. But as long as you can hear me. So what happened was, Donna, if you remember, Husni kind of assured me the way Matt just did there, and I was like, well, there you go, Donna. Everything's under control. And you were silent for about 15 seconds, and you said, okay. And it was awkward, and we got off the phone and called you back, and I said, I sensed you didn't buy what Husni was selling, and you sounded like you had to hold back from tears, practically, like you had to compose yourself. And that's when you said to me, you don't understand what's happening in the Facebook group, and I don't think it's clearly being communicated, because I'm getting a different sense. And so just to round all of this up, that's where we put into plan this thing. Let's categorize every single known bug. Let's communicate it with the users. Let's send a video, let them know what's going on, and give them a time frame when they can be ready. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to transition to the next phase, which is the actual state of all. Oh, camera's back. Cool. We're gonna transition now back. Mike, we're back. Thank you. To the actual state of the refactoring. Right. This is the state of Groove.ai, the state of Groove Digital, the state of Groove.CM. But right now we're focusing on the refactoring, because that's the most important thing to you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have Husni share his screen, and then we're gonna pull it in, and we're gonna talk about the bugs that you guys reported. We're gonna go with the big ones, the most important ones. Show you that they're fixed, show you the status, and verify even some of those things live if we have to. But we're going to focus on the spreadsheet first. And I also want to let you know that, as Matt pointed out, we told you folks that we would have everything taken care of by end of day Wednesday. We actually are exceeded that because you guys, once I let you know the place where you could report bugs that came from refactoring, you're actually reporting every wish list feature, non-bugs and little things that you might be bugs. Or so we're getting a lot of stuff in that Facebook group. Robert Murray, what he's trying to do is find out the bugs that are urgent, related to the refactoring, that are really making it impossible for anybody to sell a product or have a page up and running. So all of those bugs that at the time that I made that video have been taken care of. And thanks to you, you're finding on some days 8 new bugs, then 7, then 6. I asked Husni today how many bugs were reported today in the Facebook group. The answer that has made it over to his sheet at this moment from Robert Murray is 2. And yesterday there was about 4. So we're getting to the point that you guys are reporting less and less bugs. And as you add the bug, we're done. So if you say, hey, this was supposed to be done by Wednesday, by Monday, understand if you find a new bug on Friday, it's going to show up on that sheet. I don't want you to go to that sheet and say, why is this not done? It was supposed to be done last week. It's because thanks to you, you're finding mostly smaller bugs now. Every bug is just important. But when I say smaller bug, they're still major bugs that you're finding. The major bugs, like number 1, the checkout widget wasn't working. Number 2, when it did work, it didn't redirect after payment. That was fixed. Number 3, the merchant account gateways weren't fully working. And again, in this game, 99% doesn't work. We need everything at 100% because if one thing fails, the boat sinks. There was a PayPal issue that wasn't working. There was a saving your pages in Groove. There was a publishing issue. We're going to address all of those now. Husni, I'm going to turn it over to you to go over these items one by one. And if at any point you feel you need to log into the Groove app in a separate tab and go back and forth from your Google Sheet, go ahead and do it and show it inside of the app. So I don't have to keep saying, let me share my screen, and then you reshare your screen. So you'll do both.
Of course. So I believe I shared my screen. Yeah. So thank you, Mike, for mentioning all the details about the situation of the Groove Refactory. As you can see, now it's the circle starts getting green, so which means that we're moving forward on fixing most of the bugs, and we really thank all the Groove community, all Groove users for
And Husni, it's gonna help if you can when you see anything that says view in the Google Sheet, if you can make the view more like 125% or 150%.
It's at the top, Hosni. Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, that's always going to be better for the users.
Okay, sure.
The second one you had was better.
Like this?
You made it bigger and then smaller. Yeah, that's better. It might not be good for you, but it's good for us.
Okay, as long as it's good for you, that's good.
That's
so,
right.
So as I mentioned, we received like more than 120 bugs till now. Some of our major high priorities, some of our user specifics, and we were taking care of each bug one by one. We're taking our time to test it, to make sure everything is working fine. So I would like just to share first the bugs that we fixed, and based on the date when we get reported the bugs. Most of the issues we received are from GrooveCM. Some of our some payment gateways and some let's say, for example, the transaction listing wasn't working properly and everything. And I can assure you, it wasn't like bugs, but just the conflicts between the new server in the old one, because we migrated to a new server with the new configuration and everything. And for sure, we need to make sure that the code base is match the new configuration server. So yeah, also we got like many reports on GrooveMail too, like unable to save templates, unable to send broadcasts, unable to add the sender and everything. Allow me to mention one small detail. Yeah.
Sorry, Husni, I was just telling Matt we're back in.
All right. So I wanted to mention one small detail regarding GrooveMail is that we improved the security of the application, and that makes like reviewing the user data before performing each request. Let's say you want to save a template or create a broadcast or even send a broadcast. Before we initiate this process, we need to look at the user who requests that data and everything to make sure it works fine. The problem why it was blocking those process is the user data wasn't 100% propagated in the system, so we had to like do it we can say 50% manual work to make sure everything looks fine. And this is like a major security improvement we bring to GrooveMail. Regarding Groove pages, the most of issues we received are related to publishing, and sometimes randomly, some users face a blank Canva. They kind of like lose the progress of their web pages. I can assure you guys that those both issues are fixed, and again, I can say that the same issue was when we migrated to a new server. We have like some old websites that were even published like 1 year ago, and they faced such problem. It was related to some file conflicts. Sorry.
Sorry about that, Husni.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah, regarding Groove blog, most of the issues we received are related also to publishing, and related also to team settings that not like visible on the live Groove blog website. The issues was also related to a new server with the caching system. We're making like some styling, some fonts, some colors, but the live version wasn't the same just because of the server caching. So we had to rearrange it a bit and make it more stable for you guys. Most of those procedures, let's say moving to a new server, upgrading to a MongoDB server, improving the caching system, and all and so on, all those procedures was for one purpose, which is making the application more fast, more secured, and more usable. Yeah, I can say that I'm working now in GrooveCM for more like 3 years, and I can confirm to you that the application when I joined the team till now, it's much bigger. The company grows really fast, and for sure we need to handle the data. We need to bring the most technology that can help us have optimized process and even a fast experience for everyone. I can give you a promise, guys, that by once we stabilize the code refactoring, conflicts, and everything, we will have more optimization in the system, because now we have the correct infrastructure for that, and you will notice a faster applications, faster Groove pages, faster GrooveCell, faster GrooveMail. So it's just a matter of time, and I appreciate that. I wanted to bring some issues that we are currently working on and in progress, and was being reported by many of users we have. It's for example, the most important one that we're giving high priority is both on GrooveMail. The first one is some users, when they try to send broadcasts using a SendGrid or Amazon ECS, they get like multiple emails. We fixed the issue for Amazon ECS. It's live, and we're still testing for the SendGrid. It was fixed too, but we're still testing it. We cannot like make it official and say that it's fixed. Regarding the Twilio broadcast, we're just like securing the interaction between the Twilio API and our system, and for sure it will be. I believe it will be fixed today, because we are working on it since yesterday, and we move on. And also we have other bugs that we just recently we just got them recently. One in GrooveCM regarding uploading an image on a click design integration. And yeah, we added an extra security layer on this integration. That's why we need to make sure that the click design interaction it's more 100% secured. We had SSL certificate that was like expired, so we have to renew it, so to make sure the integration went well. Regarding the Groove blogs issues, I can say those are not major. They are like user specific. We received like 3 or 4 users reporting the same issue, and I think it will be fixed today too. So those that are in progress, they will be released today. We have other bugs here, but that we didn't mention in progress, just because some of are really user specific. So we ask the support team to reach out to the user and assist him on it. Some others we need to understand carefully the situation before we start proceeding on the code. But I can guarantee to you guys that we are working 16 hours a day on 2 shifts to really speed up fixing all those bugs. And yeah, by seeing that everybody is reporting and by watching all the Facebook group interactions, I understand that we have many businesses relying on Groove.CM solutions, and we're doing our best to make it the best application for you guys. I don't know, Mike, if you want me to go.
That's
yeah.
That's good. What I do want you to cover,
okay,
if there's any, because everybody could see the Google sheet.
Mhm.
So I do want you to cover if there is any high outstanding priorities that are not fixed and what the timeline is for that. And you may have just went over that in the last minute or two, but if you can just recap that.
Yeah, of course. So as I mentioned, we have here 2 major bugs in GrooveMail that I guarantee to you that it will be released today. We are already working on it. This one it's done, it's under test, and this one we're still working on it. I believe it will be released today too. And we have 2 other the other bugs we can't say high priority, but it's user
They're
specific.
noted, and we're knocking them out one by one.
Yeah, and it's user specific. That's why we didn't mark it like as a high priority.
If I may just add something, I see a lot of comments. My bug reports are
aren't
not
shown.
there.
Yeah.
I don't see my
you,
bug
David.
reports. I just wanted to mention that we are focusing on the optimization for this code refactoring. So any bugs that are related to the code refactoring are the top priority. A lot of users are reporting all sorts of different bugs that you guys find. That's great, but it will not be in this priority session of the fixes. We will fix all of the code refactoring related issues and then focus on all of the other issues that are not as high priority later on. So if your bugs are not on this list, that might mean that it's not related directly to this. So that's just a small
There's
info.
one more reason too. We created this bug sheet a few days into the process, so people who had been submitting support ticket bugs may not be on this sheet. They may have been addressed elsewhere or be going through the support channels. So these are mostly bugs reported directly to the team members or in social media. So I just gave the support department access to this document. So I suspect that they might be adding some new ones.
Yeah.
I
So
want to.
go ahead,
Mike.
Yeah. What I was going to say is, for people like, I got to put my glasses on. I think it's Rosanna Valencia. It doesn't mean that your bugs aren't being categorized. They're just not going on this sheet, right? Our job, or in any job during what you would call a triage, is to make sure that we're handling the most important things and to make sure that the people with the paper cut aren't standing in line at the desk for the person that's having the heart attack. It's the best metaphor I could say. So we have a separate place for that. So yes, David is seeing them. Robert Murray is seeing them. They get reported. They're being put onto. I'm not even going to even tell you it's the same tab a different tab on the spreadsheet. It's a different spreadsheet. It's our normal bug reporting. We collect bugs, we put them onto Trello cards. There's a system that we have that says, here's a bug, make sure it's already been reported. Has it been reported? Okay, great. Notify back the user, et cetera, et cetera. That, we're aware of the bug and the team is on it. What we're really focusing on here are the things that, I gave my phone number out in that video and Matt's phone number. Matt, we probably had at least 75 people reach out to us. We appreciate all the comments. And
I didn't get anywhere as many as you. I don't know what I did wrong, but
yeah, you were
didn't
at least
quite make
5.
75. I think I'm at 4. But
yeah, I spent my day communicating with people, and I loved it. So my point being there that we want to make sure that, like, some of the text messages that were coming in was, I have a launch tomorrow, and like, what do I do? And we're like, well, what specifically is not working for you? And then immediately I got that person involved with Husni, which is not something I like to do when he has to work on all of these different things. I don't want to just kick that person back to the help desk either. When I said, here's my phone number, contact me, especially if you have an emergency. And we did everything we could to, help any of those particular users that came to us. So back to David, I think he wanted to say something, but this has to do specifically with Rosanna or anybody that's saying, hey, I'm not seeing my bug reported on the spreadsheet. And again, that could be, the scroll bar is not working on this pop-up on Groove webinar. Yeah, we'll collect that. We'll put that out there. Right now, we're putting out the major fires.
Yeah, sometimes also because some customers, they share some private data, and we don't want to share their bugs on the public spreadsheet, just to protect their data. That's all. And yeah, I wanted to mention one small detail is regarding the situation of the code refactoring in the release. You will notice that there is like a domino effect. So once we will fix one issue, it will fix like 10 or 20 issues at once, because all are related to the same thing. And
Husni, let's talk about that for a minute. We're going to spend about another 10 minutes talking about the refactoring. I'll lead it from here and ask you questions, and Matt will chime in, might ask some questions. So some of the questions I have just for myself, we'll start there. You and Matt had told me that the beautiful thing with the refactoring now is it's going to make bugs easier to find and fix, and they'll be faster. Can you explain that to me? Why is it easier now to fix a bug when it's reported?
Perfect. So now on the code refactoring, we followed the correct standards of developing an application, which means, for example, if we have like a functionality or a feature that's being shared among, let's say, among many apps and everything, so we use one reference for this feature, and which means that when somebody reports that bug, we will fix it in one place, and it will be the fix will be applied to all the apps and all related features. With that way, we save time, and we know where the bug is located. We can save it right away. Also, we added like some reference for each bug. So each bug like has a reference that maybe sometimes when a user has some complications performing any feature or any action, he can just take a screenshot and you can see the reference of the bug, and based on that we have enough informations, and we can just check our logs and know what's the action the user is trying to perform, and we can understand the bug without like taking too much time on that. So it's like time we're just like winning so much time on this. And yeah, also regarding the code refactoring now, the big advantage we did is we're not like just rewrite the code. We recoded the whole logic for many applications, which means now we have like a good knowledge on the application structure and everything, because now we documented it for the developers, and everyone who has any question, he can just we have a documentation with a code so clean, and we can like fix bugs and even makes improvement real fast.
So maybe I can give a quick example of what refactoring
A little closer to
would be in a real world.
Thank you.
For example, when you load the dashboard, Husni, if I say something that's wrong or I'm not accurate enough, just correct me, right? But an example would be, for example, when you load the dashboard on GrooveCM, we used to go in there and say, okay, I want you to tell me all of the customers that purchased between this date and this date. And I want you to filter by the name Matt. And on top of it, I need you to tell me how many transactions that is, how much was the commission was, how much were the affiliate paid for it, what is the date of each transaction. And we would pull all this huge load of data in order to get the answer into the dashboard so we can display the dashboard properly, creating essentially a huge search and a huge set of math basically being done in order to get the information. And then somewhere else within the app, if we needed the information about the commission, for example, where you pay the affiliates, then the same thing would happen. You would say, hey, how many affiliates? And you would create a new set of formula for this. So now what we did, just in the example of the dashboard, is we broke the dashboard into pieces, right? So the top left part of the dashboard will be, hey, let's calculate commission. Let's calculate how much is onto the affiliate. Let's calculate how many transactions. This is now 3 separate formula, right? And that formula can be used anywhere within the software. For example, if I go to the page where I pay the affiliate, I'm going to use that very same function in order to find out how much I have to pay an affiliate, regardless of the affiliate, regardless of where I am in the function. Having a different function is I'm somewhere else into the code. And then we're also going to separate it for each element within the page. So the search function is going to be completely different than the calculate commission function. So it used to be, because we kind of built new app over new app and added more and more functionality, it used to be that every function was based on what the screen was presenting to yourself. Now the function is based on the task at hand. So if we make a change to the function for commission calculation, it's going to be propagated throughout the entire app where we need to answer any kind of commission question. And so the whole logic has been redone that way. It makes the program more efficient. It makes one thing not dependent on the other. And for example, in the dashboard on GrooveCM, we're now loading all of the transactions, right? If I say I want every transaction from Matt, and the only thing that's happening is there's a search for the transaction. And then a separate function is calculating the commission. So maybe that answer will come up first, and then at the meantime, it might take a second or two to calculate the actual commission, making your system much more efficient, faster. And if one thing bugs, the other one doesn't. So, and when we fix a bug, we know exactly where the code is for the commission anywhere in the app, instead of trying to go to 20 different places. And that's one example of what refactoring is. And we did that throughout the entire app. We use libraries, right? Commission calculation, number of transactions, and then we kind of use that wherever it's needed within the app.
So one of the things, Matt, for instance, that we did that's new, I just shared on the screen there, is these reports are now on a new database, which is MongoDB, off of MySQL or MySQL, which is going to just allow us to be lightning fast. Now, what we need to do is we need to go into each individual report and optimize them. Some of them have been optimized, not all of them have. For instance, if I click on the advanced filters here, once we add them, that's still using our old optimization. Husni is going to clean out all of these bugs and then go in and work on all.
There is a reason we're going to deploy Elasticsearch. So we didn't worry too much about optimizing that, because as we deploy Elasticsearch, it's going to be lightning fast. It's going to be even faster and a much better search engine.
But even this right here
is already much better.
Is much better. Yeah. You're going to see that, for instance, if I click here and I say 30 days, which is a lot of data, and you'll see the little button here now says apply filters. Many of you have asked, including myself and Donna, that every time you wanted to go in and click something, it ran the report. Then you wanted to change the date, it ran the report. Then you did a fill. Every little thing that you added kept going. Now you'll see if I refresh the screen, let's just do a hard refresh. You're going to see the apply filters is off because it's just at the default filter. Watch how this is going to just bounce here. You're going to notice if I change the date to 30 days, watch this little gray button go live when I do that. And it bounces, letting you know, hey, you need to apply the filters there. And so now when we click apply filters, these reports, did you see that? 30 days, done. Just completely.
No, it's instant.
Yeah, like
if you notice, the commission might take a milliseconds later to come up, because it's a separate function.
I'm gonna just have a little fun here, and I'm gonna just click last year, and I know that this would have taken about 35 seconds in the past to do. So I'm gonna do this. We're gonna click the apply filters here, and that's 1 second. It just went through a year of data, folks. And what that means is that when you want to export your data, get your sheets, right now they're not all there. I wanted to let you know that as soon as we click on apply filter, that hasn't been fully optimized, but you can expect that in the next 30 days. All of the reports, if you know, like I do, we have a large list with GrooveMail. Going through and trying to get a report done in GrooveMail sometimes would either take 2 minutes or it would time out. And I was told, yes, we're refactoring the code, we're moving to Mongo. That's finally been done. All of these things now, it's just amazing to see that in less than a second, like that was about
we're adding Elastic
700
search,
milliseconds.
and the Elasticsearch is not going to blow up your system, so no worries there. It's pretty basic. That's another update that we're doing here in the near future. When do we think we're going to do Elastic, Husni?
Husni was bounced out. Let me bring.
Oh,
him
maybe
back in.
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're not doing Elastic, or maybe we have done.
Well, here he is.
Yeah, actually, it's a project that we're going to work on. We want just to make sure that we migrate to transactions and we optimize all filter performance we have. Then we're gonna implement Elasticsearch, and I believe this is going to take I believe it will be in the next 2 months.
And what you'll notice as well, thank you, Husni. Stick around here because you'll chime in. What you're going to notice here, and Husni's probably bouncing out, going, Mike, I need to get back working on the refactoring. He literally said to me today, 10 minutes before we got on, do you really need me for this? I'd like to be on and work on the refactoring of the code. And I called him and said, are you kidding me? They need to hear from you. They need to hear from you.
That would have been a good question to ask.
Yeah. So the other things that I want to let you know is what you're seeing here, the user interface. We've had a lot of things that we wanted to get done. So while we were doing the refactoring, there's a lot of new changes around the UI for the user interface. Just minor. You're going to see that the buttons look better, the pop-up modals look better, and that's being pushed widely across the app as well. So I want to just stop sharing my screen here. I'll bring it back if we need. I want to talk more about the refactoring. Husni, tell us, and Matt, chime in. Tell us what else besides the fact that we'll be able to get bugs better, like the whole reason for the refactoring. I'll throw some things out there. We had a tremendous amount of users publishing backlogs, the queues to get refreshing anything in a dashboard. We were running reports every single time. Talk about what users are what we've done for the refactoring, and that's going to show for users in all aspects of page load times in the app, reporting, publishing, saving, all that stuff.
So yeah, thank you, Mike. The main goals we focused on in the code refactoring was first, as Mike mentioned, the optimization, the security, and also we wanted to bring a lot of features that we have no chance to do that with previous code. It's let's say, for example, delegating access to accounts and deep calculations for affiliates, and also another surprise that I believe Mike will bring by the end of this stream. And also, I see a smiling Mike. So yeah, and also for my side, the most important thing was the optimization. We wanted to focus that the servers reach out 40%, 30% on the resources, which wasn't the case before. Now the servers are pretty light, and we can perform deeper calculations for you guys for each application. Regarding the Groove pages, for example, we have some users who complains about the publishing takes too much time. It won't be anymore. It will be real fast. Even if you have a website with 300 pages, it won't take more than 30 seconds. We have for the GrooveMail also, sometimes when you have a broadcast that with more than let's say 25 recipient, it takes sometimes 2 to 3 hours. Now it will be much faster. And also we have now on GrooveMail more flexibility to make sure that we match the maximum standards to send spam-free emails. And a lot of more technical features that I believe it will be a
Maybe I
boring.
can give a quick example.
Thank you,
As
Husni.
always, it's so we have now Matt
we
is the
appreciate your
spokesperson of the dev team. Yeah, for me, I'm like, you can leave me with the codes, and we have Matt as the spokesperson of the dev team.
Go ahead, Matt.
Maybe I can give another example. We're now using MongoDB.
For our
Historically,
database.
historically, we had a SQL server, right? And when it would have so many requests, it would spin up another server, and to handle requests and spin up another server. And then when it got slow at night, it would kind of spin down server and speed them up and speed it down. So what we did now is we always have several servers running at the same time, but the logic to which we access those servers is quite a bit different. For example, when somebody loads a GrooveCM page, the calculations for affiliate is being sent on, say, server number 2, but the list of customers is being sent on server number 3, while maybe the filtering is being sent on server number 3 or 4, right? So those servers can also scale up, but based on the type of request, it's being sent to the same servers all the time, which allows for better caching. And also, instead of, using all the resources of one servers and going to the next one and then going to the next one, we're now kind of dispatching the resources into several servers and getting 3 of them to perform better. It's one example out of many, but it's just a way the logic is made. I think one thing that truly helps is we know what the end result is, right? We know what we're looking for at the end. Just like the new features you're about to announce a little bit later today, we had no idea we were going to do that when we started Groove in 2019, so we didn't account for that. So part of the refactorization is also accounting for all the future things that we have planned on doing. So that gets optimized from the root on. So,
yeah. And so finally moving off of the company X thing, but there was another problem that that was happening. I have to use this expression. It's my dad's expression when he wasn't happy with something that I did. He would tell me I did a half-assed job. And he would always bring me over to something and say, "Is this something you're proud of?"
they just wanted to deliver. That was it,
Yeah.
right? And it didn't matter how.
It would be if he told me to clean my room, and I could clean my room before I can go out and
Everything
play
under
with
the
my
bed.
friends.
Right.
Yeah, and I did a half-assed job. I wanted to get out, and then what I had to do is now spend the full hour cleaning my room the way that it was supposed to be. For example, if it was mowing the lawn or clean the garage, something that I said I was going to do, and if I didn't do it right, he would call me out on it. So the expression that I use is half-ass, right? And there was a lot of stuff that Husni knows, David Lemon knows. When we were dealing with Company X, something would go live, and I didn't get to test it for 2 or 3 days. I don't mean test it like go play with it, right?
Because it was part of the list of things I had to do, right? Life was moving on, new features were coming out.
Yeah, it's a new feature. But let's say it's a new feature in Groove Auto Webinar or whatever the case is, and then I'll do my, I'll go build something out or whatever or use it, and I'll be like, this is ridiculous that this is half-assed. This pop-up modal that has all of this information is 200 by 200 pixels. There's a scroll bar and the apply button you can't see. And
I know.
You have to click boxes and then you close out because you think it did, but the apply button didn't show unless you scroll down, and there was no scroll bar telling you.
Now we have one model for every app being used the same place. It was made with love. So hopefully that will.
Yeah, what would happen is I would then go to David and say, I'd find 30 things.
Right.
Right. I went through Wizard 1, Wizard 2, Wizard 3, Wizard 4, the final thing, and I put together a list. And I would say to David, "Hey, we've got to get on this." And now David has to manage, right? Well, he would say, "Well, that developer has been pulled off. He's been moved over to GrooveBlog, and so it's kind of like the box has been checked here. But we've taken note, and we're going to get back. We're going to get back to it." And what ends up happening is each new app created all of this legacy crap. Right. It just created all of this legacy crap. That's what we went through with the refactoring. It was like, I know that, if we, on a typical state of the Groovion, we will see, when are we adding this feature? What's going on with Groove surveys? What's going on with Groove help desk? And I want to let you know there came a certain point where I was like, we're not going to keep on building half-assed software like this. It's driving me crazy. I've made statements that I'm not afraid to tell you here. I've said it to Matt. I've said it to Donna. I've said it to Husni. I said, guys, I'm telling you right now, if I was paying $2.99 a month, I would not be using this platform. This shit can't stop and blah, 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 blah. So there's no more development until we go back and we fix everything and make the ship completely tight. And that's our focus. It's been our focus for the last two refactorings. We finally can check the box and say we did the refactoring. And now we're going to go finish a few more optimization things. And then we're going to get these apps with all the right features that they're supposed to have. And then we're going to move on to building a help desk, which I know you're excited about, Matt. Building Groove surveys and all of the different things that we promise for future apps. But right now, there exists Zoom and there exists StreamYard. So if we promise GrooveStream, we're using StreamYard, we use Zoom, we use GoToWebinar. I think, and I would hope that all of you would like to see the app getting more optimized, all the original apps that we have before we even think on moving on to any of those other apps. So,
and sometimes it was a little bit frustrated, right? The Facebook group, I think a lot of complaints where you guys are not doing anything to the GrooveCM app, and
yeah, they were right. No new features were being
right. No new features.
We were refactoring.
At the same time, I was spending 6-7 hours a day on it. Also, was Usenet and then the entire team, right? So it was, part of me I couldn't wait to release it as well, right? I was definitely ready February 29th, despite all the trouble we had that week. Why? Because I wanted people to see is that we indeed were doing so much on this app. And this code refactory was, I think 80% of the app has been rewritten. And so it's, I think it needed to be done. It's a huge accomplishment. And,
I think what hasn't, I think like Groove Webinar, they're going to do, I'm not sure on
we got a little bit of work on Groove Webinar. And then, I guess we kept 20% of the code is that we're more from the original days too.
Yeah. And GrooveCart was the first to get refactored, right?
GrooveCart wasn't quite refactored on this one. And the reason is because GrooveCart was the original app, right? So we did all of GrooveCart in-house.
Yeah.
Remembers that. So it was a lot more solid.
Right. Yeah. The Company X never touched that. And we went through our own refactoring at a
right. And GrooveCart is kind of this thing. Right?
So we also have the user interface, which is going to be now we can finally go back, because that was another thing they didn't want to do the user interface, because that's something that's going to be easier once the refactoring is done. So now
we're a lot easier.
Yeah. So now we're finally going to get all of that stuff that we have in Figma over, and we're going to start seeing, like in GrooveCell, the proper menus that look like the way we did in GrooveCart. That's going to get done. I'd like to move on now to GrooveMail and talk about the GrooveMail issue. And Donna, I know that you're around. I'm going to ask you to just pop in here. I asked David, but I think you know it a little bit better than me, and possibly even David. I just want to ask you if you can. This is our first formal on video explaining State of the Groovion. I just need you to talk about the part that happened with what basically, from what you know, what Gmail and Yahoo said to all ISPs with about 14 days notice.
So yeah, GrooveMail, or Gmail, Google Mail, sorry, came out with some new rules about what you would need to do in the back end in terms of getting your DKIM straight for email deliverability of things to the Gmail inbox. And they did give us about, it was more than 2 weeks. We were just slow reacting because we had so much else going on. So by the time we got around to it, we were way behind the 8 ball on dealing with that issue. The good news is, so long story short, it would have cost, not in terms of money, but in terms of time, a tremendous amount of effort with GrooveMail while we were in this refactoring process where we really couldn't do anything to the code while refactoring was happening, to get the GrooveMail SMTP up to snuff to be able to deliver to Gmail and those types of domains. So we decided as a company that we were going to just stop trying to do GrooveMail SMTP. We decided that, and I think we're going to announce that we're going to partner with a major SMTP
company. We're going to announce that right next. Yeah.
Yep. And so the result of this is that Google kind of forced our hand into deciding to let my dogs bark. They sort of
We
forced
expect
our
to get it out
hand
of the system.
into not getting the GrooveMail SMTP done, but I'm very, very excited about our alternative, and I'm going to get off the mic now so that you can talk about that.
Cool. Yeah. So to tie a ribbon around what Donna was saying was, we've been struggling with GrooveMail for a number of reasons. Every time we had an issue, then we realized that Groove Brazil had access to, when they forked the code, that they allowed their users to import leads, and we couldn't figure out for the life of us why
Where's the
our
bad leads
IPs
were coming from?
kept getting burned. 2 years now, 2+ years dealing with the nightmare. So there was always the option for you. The beautiful thing, we built GrooveMail to allow you to bring your own SMTP. So you were able to use Mailgun or Amazon web mail services or SendGrid and different things like that. And you could plug in your own. And then in the drop down, if you didn't want to bring your own, there was GrooveMail. And GrooveMail, we bought 2 power MTAs. Don't want to get too much into that, but it's very expensive technology that's used to handle all of your email and your bounces and all of those different things. But the most important thing that has to be done after that is IP reputation. And then the people like Google Mail or Gmail and Yahoo, they'll change things, like as Donna said, with SPF records and DKIM and all these things that we're constantly staying up on. Or we can just wrap around SendGrid or Mailgun or some other technology and pay for the email ourselves rather, through a third-party service rather than handling the mailing and the throttling through our own servers. My previous company, when we did it, we built it on SendGrid. There was higher cost involved there. It's passed along to the users. What are we saying? AV out of sync again. We might have to, after I finish this segment, we might do a refresh. They're saying, I can see my voice is not completely lined up. So I'll finish this segment and then we'll refresh the browser. And we'll bring David and Husni in when we do that so that it's not blank. But yeah, just to let you know that what we've decided is just to go the same model that many people do, and create the front end that handles the automation, emailing, the templates, and all those different things when it's going to go out to scheduling, and then just let a professional third-party service do it. So currently, we're negotiating with 3 different people to get the best deal for sending mail. Our top dog that we want to work with is SendGrid. They're the most expensive. We're trying to get them to match some of the prices that we're getting with some of the other reputable agencies. But by May, we should have not only a contract in place, and once that's done, we already have that technology because we work with SendGrid, we work with Mailgun, we work with one with a post, something like that. And so we will literally just hit the switch that says, bring your own SMTP, make it SendGrid where you pay for it. We're going to do that same technology. The only things we're going to pay for the lifetime users. So for anyone that is a lifetime user of Groove and you were promised a certain amount of emails or whatever the case is, we are going to be taking care of that as we promised you. And instead of sending that through Groove Mail with our own SMTP or Power MTA technology, that the reason why we were able to do those lifetime deals and offer the email and those different things was because we were going to be handling the email ourselves. It was something that we factored. But we made that promise to you. We feel that you're going to get better professional service when we partner with somebody like SendGrid or Mailgun, whoever is good enough to get our contract and get us the prices that we want. And then from there, you're going to be getting the same awesome speed, deliverability that you get through a company like SendGrid. And we're going to take care of all of the cost for those lifetime users.
You're also going to have to be responsible, like a relationship we would have with SendGrid, right?
Exactly. So that's where I'm going to put the comma on this. All right. And so, comma, we are going to do everything we can to make sure that you don't get yourself in trouble with SendGrid. Okay. So we are going to scrub your leads. Expect that if you want to bring in 50,000 leads, you're probably only going to get 20,000 of them accepted. Yes, 60%, 30,000 of your 50,000 leads will get rejected because there are are companies out there that know that this inbox is, you know, is an old Yahoo email. It's not accepting email. And we're going beyond just bouncing. There are some email addresses that are known to report spam and all those different things. And there are companies that we pay a fortune to clean that data. And so we are doing that because, number one, we have to keep a good reputation with this contract, whether it's SendGrid or Mailgun, et cetera. Because if they feel that we're onboarding too many users, they will just say, hey, you know, we don't even
not too many users, invalid email accounts.
If you're onboarding users that are abusing the system, is what I meant. So yeah, so if we make a partnership with them, they want us to, you know, they're going to say to us, who are your users? What are they mailing? Are you bringing on spammers? No, absolutely not. And if we bring on people that are mailing junk and don't put quality and don't have a relationship with their people, it's going to reflect on us. And then that relationship can affect all members. So just like a company like Kartra or Infusionsoft or Keep, and you hear people complaining a lot that, oh my God, they're so difficult. They keep telling me that, yeah, these things are the way that it is with SendGrid. It's the same thing with merchant processing with MasterCard and Visa card. There's chargeback rates. So what you're going to see here will be taken out of our control. We are going to be getting information back from SendGrid that if you're spamming or whatever, we'll put a warning on your account, or not your account, the abuser's account.
No, everybody's going to have a sub account.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. We're going to get our information back from SendGrid to either warn the user, and at a certain point, when SendGrid says that this user is not allowed, we are going to tell you that you've lost your rights to email. You can bring your own SMTP and now go out and find it, because the third-party systems out there know what they're doing. And if you did something naughty, it's like with a merchant processing rate, your chargeback got out of control. So you'll be getting the same quality service that you're getting with a MailChimp or an ActiveCampaign or a Kartra or Keep or anything like that. Where they outsource those services to other companies, will be doing the same. You want to say something, Matt?
No, and that's designed to protect all of the users. So yeah. I'm still looking forward. And actually, is it too early to say we're going to do that with text and voice and all that stuff at the same time?
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You know more.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah. Well, we have the text already. So, but what we're going to be doing, especially
something
with a company like SendGrid, who owns Twilio. If not, we'll just create a separate thing with Twilio. But you're going to be seeing some things coming into GrooveMail that go beyond just sending email and text messages, but we're going to open up to their full development kit that allows you to send voice messages, rich text messages that will work with iMessage and even WhatsApp through your entire automation process. So we are going to be finally
voice too.
Yeah, voice. Yeah, well, that's Twilio, right? Yeah, that's SendGrid Twilio. So you'll have the ability to record something and send. And you're also going to be seeing some things like AI, the new trend. And this is some of the stuff that we'll be talking about later. But the new trends that are happening now is taking in the dynamic data of the customer, what product they purchased when, throwing that into AI and having a dynamic phone call. There's a company, Air.ai, that has a conversation with people. They have APIs. So all of the AI emailing and text messaging is also going to come in as well. So it'll be behavioral based on their actions, and all that data can be fed in to the text messages or the voice memos. And so when you say voice, it's not just a voice; it's also a voice synthesizer that we can use with OpenAI or 11 Labs, allowing users to connect in and send messages to WhatsApp or something with voice.
That's going to be so cool.
Yeah. And so, yeah, so GrooveMail is, Mike Jones, can you get me a tissue, please? My nose is leaking like a Labrador retriever here. And so, yeah, we're going to be seeing the GrooveMail that we've always wanted. We're going to have the ability for all of the automations and the updates. All of those things had to be put on pause while we did the refactoring. So we're really excited to be jumping back into.
Now features are going to be developed so much faster. So much faster. We don't have to touch 20 places in the app to add an integration, just one place, wherever that function is.
Yeah. So let's bring Husni back on just for a minute. And thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Not just a tissue. It's fine. Husni, if you can, let us know what do we have after the next 60 days while you finalize some of this refactoring and the GrooveMail. What are some of the things that you guys are going to be jumping into?
So yeah, we're going to, as you just mentioned, regarding integration of Syndicate / Twilio and the GrooveMail. Also, we have, let's say, as I mentioned before, we will have faster transition emails and everything. More technical improvements, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
No, in terms of features. In terms
Mhm.
of features, maybe you want to bring David Lemon on, David, because now we're talking about going over and above beyond the refactoring. Like, what are the next feature sets? Obviously, GrooveMail is going to give us the GrooveMail that we wanted, but I know we have some things that are going on with GrooveCell. Do you want to talk about the new affiliate reporting and payout and all those different things?
If you want to, I can talk about it too.
So
Matt,
some of the things that
Matt'll go first. Matt'll just talk about the affiliate stuff, and then David, you'll come in after.
okay.
Yeah, so I think one of the big thing we wanted to get done with GrooveCell was to facilitate the affiliate reporting and affiliate payments as well. We're going to have now one page for affiliate payments and affiliate commission that combines all of the sub funnels, all of the funnels into one page. Right now, you have to go into a certain funnel, see how much you need to pay an affiliate, how much sales they've earned. If it's a second tier, it's even a different place you got to go to. So now we're going to kind of sum up all of the affiliate payments that are due queued into one screen. And as you pay an affiliate, you're going to be able to check them, just a check mark and say send payment to affiliate. And so that's going to save, especially the more and more volume you have, the more it's going to save you a lot of time in managing your affiliate. And along with more data reporting because of the ability to combine all of the funnel into one dashboard.
Yeah, so I'm sharing my screen
That's
as
a big high level of what we're going to do for affiliates.
Yeah, so this is the next thing that'll be rolled out. As you can see, this one hasn't been optimized. That's what we're saying is coming up next. But I wanted to show you here when you. But again, this is hung up, so we'll just pull that out for now because I'll bring it back when the screen comes up. What Matt was basically saying is to go to pay the affiliates now, it would drive us crazy. You would have to pay all affiliates for the funnel Groove, then the funnel Groove AI, then the funnel Traffic Syndicate, then Groove Agency.
And you could have a clawback on
Yeah.
Groove Agency that doesn't apply to another funnel.
Yeah, it was a big pain in the neck because
Right.
You'd have the Black Friday sale. Every time you created a new funnel, every time you wanted to do a payout, you had to pay out for that funnel.
Right.
So if we have 11 different funnels, Sam would have to first do 11 different payouts and then do 11 payouts to people. And then when they get their first payout, they immediately go to the help desk and say, hey, I was owed more than 2,000. It's like, yeah, because we're going down one funnel at a time. And then that was only tier one. Then she had to do it again for tier two. And so a little simple thing, it's just grouped together, all commissions, tier one and tier two, you could batch it and pay it. And the reporting is,
and we can actually associate an affiliate sale with an actual payment, right? So you're going to know that 497 got paid on January 1st and that, other commission was paid on that date. It was part of this payout. So it's easy now for the affiliate to know exactly what sale has been paid on, which one hasn't, or what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. As heavy users, we are in there. We worked with myself and Donna, some other users, and Sam, who does all the affiliate commissions, and said exactly what they would need to get
be more efficient.
To be more efficient, yeah. And then we're going to be adding different wallets where affiliates don't have to get paid by PayPal. They're going to be able to log in and connect their apps using Plaid, and then we'll be able to pay them directly from the system to their Chase accounts and different things like that. So you don't have to manually download data and then do separate ACH and wire. You can just do it right through the system. So many of those things are coming. And David will bring you back on now.
Yeah, so I wanted to mention that we are working again on the new code for GrooveCell. We're working on the UI, this new UI wizard for setting up a product. Currently, we have a horizontal product wizard when you're setting up the products, like the details, the pricing, the everything. But we're making it vertical, and this will also incorporate some new functionalities like apply to all prices and things like that. So that might come a little bit later. So the whole package will be done in I think 2 phases. One is to incorporate all of the features that we currently have into the new design, and then add on some extra improvements and functionalities to the to make the actual plan working. So that's one of the things that we are already working on, that is in progress for GrooveCM, for example.
Yeah, and so what you're going to notice is there's a bunch of new icons here, and wow, there's new icons and new icons on the menu. There's a reason for that. We're going to be getting into that more on Thursday, Ben, but we've got some exciting stuff coming. But what I wanted to show, what David was just saying right here, is if we go into the products here, this is in Groove Cart.
No. Oh, Groove Cart?
Yes, I'm in Groove Cart here, and I'm just going to click on a particular product here. And this is, you guys have seen this before because you've seen it in GrooveCart. We've showed this demo while we were waiting for the code to get refactored. This type of user interface is what you're going to see for this, for GrooveCM. So when we go into a particular funnel here, I'll go into the demo funnel so that we don't break anything. We click on demo funnel. As you folks are familiar with, these little things here, these buttons, you said they're being worked on, right? That they've
yes.
the default state has changed.
Sure.
So a little CSS thing but again, you can see there's been a change to the app. There's new icons here. Some of the buttons are on the wrong class, so we're going to be taking care of that. So they look like they're in an inactive state. But we're aware of those different things. So when you go and you go through this wizard here in GrooveCM, this wizard, we have a beautiful user interface, even over and above everything that you're seeing here in Figma. But it's going to look more like this, and then that's going to be brought all the way across the app in things like Groove Automated Webinar and the blog and different things like that. So all of these horizontal wizards are being moved into this more modern wizard here as well. And anything else, David?
The idea is to make it more intuitive, right, for navigation.
Yeah, so from there we will continue on working on some of the things that we stopped doing once we restarted this code refactoring, like for example the share pages, share funnel, share site functionality with extra functionalities of sharing only to a specific email and things like that. So that's for Groove pages specifically, but we already started that. It's partially done. We just had to stop and focus on the code refactoring fully for that. So things like these, there's a lot of these smaller minor things that were requested, but from the bigger things, this is one of those.
And we are also going to be adding, you know, when you have that thing, you're going to transition and you instantly lose your mind. You lose your train of thought, and you just start going, I'm trying to get it back.
I'm the worst one.
Yeah. So
call Mike, and then 2 minutes later, I'm like, I forgot what I call you. I just.
So, David, you were just saying
the share funnels and the share pages functionality.
Yeah, and
it's not coming back.
Yeah, it'll come back at a certain point. I want to talk real quick. We got some show notes there that somebody wants me to see. I want to talk real quick. Husni, talk about what the team is doing with AI. How AI, what it can do. It can go in and read the base, and it knows everything that's going on with the code, and how we did that with the refactoring, and how you're using AI to take our coders to the next level.
Okay, so yeah, thank you. Of course, for example, I will just give a quick example on Groove pages. So in the Groove pages experience, when we're going to implement the AI, first we will have a solution that will scan all your site's data, so we can provide you the best content per website. And let's say you will have you want to drop a title or text. Once you just type the main tagline based on the content and the type of your website, you will get generated some appropriate content. We will have an image generator also that will so with that you can unleash your creativity and generate some images.
Yes. I'm talking specifically the GitHub Copilot. our developers using.
Sorry. Yeah, I got it wrong.
I
Sorry.
know we're talking.
I thought you're talking
Again,
about
no,
integrating the AI.
Yeah, no, specifically how our developers are using GitHub Copilot. And again, folks,
Indeed.
just so you understand, this is what happens to all of us when we're not on at the moment of the session. We will tend to be in Skype, and in Husni's case, working on bugs, talking to the developers if we don't need them for 30 minutes.
No, what do you
And
think,
then all of a sudden
Husni?
you say, and so Husni, what are your thoughts on that? And then we come on and we're like, yeah, so yeah, George Washington crossed the Delaware. No, specifically GitHub Copilot.
Okay, so yeah, now all our developers, they use GitHub Copilot. The biggest advantage on it is it reads the code base and deliver the best code, relying on the code base we have, and also it helps us to speed up on refactoring most of libraries and most of packages we're having, and also it helps us to have like an initial code review before doing a human code review for the system.
Yeah,
and yeah,
Husni, we're probably going to let you get out of here so you can get back to working on the code. Artie will be bringing you on in about 5 to 10 minutes, so just chill out. And I did remember the thing that I wanted to talk about, but yeah, Matt, the GitHub Copilot for the developers. Every one of our developers has an account with with GitHub Copilot that the company pays for across all teams. And for those of you folks, and I hope that I'm in sync. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like I'm in sync. When you actually see this in action, the way that a developer that adopts this, it goes in and reads not only the code base that you're working on, but with the 125,000 tokens that's now available in ChatGPT, and it uses GPT-4. There's a lot of other AI coders out there. They're all getting really good. It reads the entire code base for GrooveCM. And just like you could upload a PDF document and ask, what is all of this information about? It knows what the code is about. And so now, as you start typing in, let's say, an action for a button or a form, I'm losing all of my audio here. I think my battery's dying. Mike?
Use my audio.
Well, I'll just, right he'll swap one out for me. I'm losing my audio. The battery's dying on it. The point that I'm making is you can just write in, well, then you can hear, right?
Well, you're right there.
Well, nobody's talking.
Okay.
I'm going to keep it. They'll get me. So when you're writing a code and you just simply say, with AI, you start just writing, it actually starts writing different modules of code for you for if the button should open a pop-up modal or, many different options that you have. And then you see the different codes and you could add them and commit them right there. It's mind-blowing. So I'm just going to take this, swap this out, and for a new one here. Testing 1, 2.
You're loud and clear. Check.
The volume was low on that. Okay, check.
You get it?
Yep. All right. That's a little bit better. Here, Mike, if you want to charge this one, please. All right. Mike Jones. He's not hearing me.
Thanks.
All right. So, Mike, did you hear me? Oh, just give me a thumbs up so I know that you heard me. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting technology, right? I think it sped up our development, makes the refactoring more reliable, more secure, and faster.
It's
and
just, yeah.
the dev love doing it too. It's
devs can be
enjoyable.
10x developers.
Right.
Like it's what ChatGPT has done for us for content creation. When I say us, all as digital marketers, we can take our thoughts and express them.
It was another
faster.
problem we had with X. They didn't want to use that. They were so reluctant in just moving forward and using that as well. It was company X.
Well, they were just a bunch of BS.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, all promises. But yeah, so I remember the last thing that I wanted to talk about here with Groove is that we are going to be in the next 90 days, because for bigger reasons, which we're going to talk about Thursday, is we are adding the team feature so that you're going to be able to add team members in nothing revolutionary. Other apps have this. You'll finally be able to add your team members into your app and give them the ability to see sales, but not process refunds or it's basically
different rights,
different rights.
privileges
Yeah.
for team member.
just like a Google Doc, but on steroids.
And I think that was one of the most requested features that we had to get through. So
Yeah, no, users
Right
obviously
after
want
the
that.
factor,
Like
yes.
we have the same problem in our team. People go in, and because they have to access a refund,
and
they
it's
have
good
access
etiquette
to
anyway.
anything.
Right? Right.
So that's something that we're really excited to be putting onto the schedule and releasing. So we're going to be bringing Artie on in just a minute. I wanted to see if there's anything that I wanted to touch on. I think we've really covered the code refactoring. It's stable. We went one step backwards to go 10 steps forward. Now we can wrap up these minor little things that we got to do with the refactoring. Then we move to a little optimization. We're going to start the UI again, and then we're going to start adding features at the same pace that we were adding before. The only thing is they're going to get released properly. They're going to get released correctly. So,
And since we started the call, we had the webinar. We had four more bugs being fixed. So we're moving fast.
oh, fantastic! All right, Artie. Well, we're going to transition from Groove.CM to Groove.AI. And just to let you know, I'm going to be working with Donna. Come on in, Artie. You're good. I'm going to be working with Donna to set up a Groove.AI training. We like to do a training. It's more of a, hey, what's happening in the world of AI, new tools, workflows, all these, stuff that we do at least once a month and talk about what's happening in Groove AI and in the world of AI. So we're going to just let Artie get set in. Mike, do we need to reset a camera here to get him on? All right. So bear with us just a minute while we Artie, you got to be at least this far away from the microphone when you talk. Otherwise, they can't hear you at home.
Hey, Mike, while you're doing that, I want to take a question from someone. I saw it scroll a couple of times and I didn't get the chance.
That'll buy us about the 3 minutes we need here.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So Rick asked, can you explain how a user can tell if what they're experiencing is a refactoring bug or not? That's a good question. And the short answer, Rick, is that I want you to not worry about it. Just report it to us, and then we will stream it into the proper place. If it is new, something you haven't experienced before, chances are it's related to the refactoring. If it's something that's a big item, like emails sending out duplicate copies of it, like something you just haven't seen before, there's a good chance that bug is related to the refactoring. But for the most part, don't you worry about it. Just report any bug that you see, and we'll make sure that it gets funneled into the appropriate place. Only the refactoring ones will appear on this sheet. And don't tell Mike, but I'm really hoping that we keep this sheet active and moving even long after we finish the refactoring process. So I'm going to fight that fight next week.
Thank you, Donna. And you nailed it on the head, right? If it's related to the refactoring, it's something that was working fine for you before and it just stopped. So that's likely due to the refactoring of the code. All right. So let's thank you, Donna. Appreciate that. Let's switch the camera angle here to Artie and Matt. There they are. All right. So I don't think any of you have ever seen Artie before, right? Artie, this is your unless they were on the Marketers Cruise. This is the first time that they're hearing from you, right?
Probably correct. Yes, even on the cruise, I've not been too visible either.
Yeah. So one of the members said, "Get ready, Artie, Artie, Artie," and in the Facebook group. So they were excited.
That's the motto. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I've got my screen set for Groove.ai. We'll bring that in just a minute. So we're going to completely change the whole. We're moving on to the next show, essentially. Anything that was related to Groove.CM is completely, thank you for having a super wide there. I appreciate that. Anything related to Groove.CM is completely unrelated to Groove.ai. It's a completely separate code base, a completely different tech stack where Groove is built on PHP, Laravel, and Groove.ai is built on Python and Django.
and a lot more. And it's very, very API based. So Artie, what you can just we'll just have a little interview here, and then I'll share the screen if we need. All right, so we started basically, I would say right around Thanksgiving, just end of November, beginning of December. We shifted away a little bit from adding new features. We put them on pause to handle the white label, and by doing that, we also realized, hey, there's some things that we need to do to make the app a little bit better. We're going to talk about some of the things that we're doing, especially for the recurring. We're moving away from users adding their own API, etc. So let's talk about the for those members. I'll let you do it any way you want. You could talk AI and white label, because some people are just users of Groove AI and some users are white label. So let's start with just the users that have a lifetime deal. Was there anything in the last 2 months or 2.5 months that they would have seen changes or that's important into the application? Because I know we're going to really spend most of the time, the first part of this, on the white label. But
yes. So, I mean, obviously, anything that goes into the app in terms of enhancements, improvements.
If you could talk a little closer, yeah.
Anything that goes into the app in terms of any improvements and changes, any updates, will be available to a white label as well. So it's essentially the same code base. All the same features are shared. Therefore, anything we added to the white label or while we're working on the white label implementation, obviously, is also available as a feature for all our lifetime members as well. The most recent ones, as far as I remember, that are not specific to the white label implementation per se, but may have been put a little bit on the back burner, and therefore may not have been too visible, are the is it still low, my audio?
Yeah, you want to try to be like 3 fingers away.
Okay.
There's a little bit of static.
And there was also, this is,
Mike, are you
this
Mike,
is
are you
better
seeing
now.
the notes? Yeah,
Yeah.
I gave my show notes,
Okay.
all caps, static in our ears.
Yes. So this sounds a little better to me as well. Anyway, so yes, we've been working on search. The implementation of our search feature is ready to go, but we had to put that on hold to square out all the white label related implementation details.
I think you're not coming through. What about this mic? Is this mic working?
No, they're hearing us. It's just that he's refixing our ears, so they're hearing
My
us.
apologies.
We just don't hear anything in the meanwhile. Go ahead, Artie.
So yeah, since, as you said, since Thanksgiving last year, we are on an average 2-week release cycle. So every 2 weeks we have some release coming out, some improvements, some updates, some new feature. If it's non-critical bug fix, it's included in that release as well.
Talk a little louder if you can, Artie.
If we have any critical bugs,
Mhm.
we release hot fixes as soon as we can out of cycle.
Mhm.
So they may hit anytime. As soon as we're aware of it, as soon as we have the fix in place, they go out. So we may have done a few of those. But primarily every 2 weeks, there's some changes, some updates, some additions. It could be UI related. It could be a new model that we've added. It could be, mostly it's UI related to just improve
Yeah,
the user
I'll share my
experience.
screen and show. Mike, just to let you, I'm not sure if you're aware, we don't hear anything. What's that? Come on out, folks. Just take 2 seconds. We don't hear anything. Okay, so you're working on it for all of us.
So it doesn't
Okay,
blow
thank
up in your ear and go like.
Yeah, can you communicate that in my ear for me next time so that I know? All right, thanks. All right, everybody.
Okay.
So I'm going to share my screen here. Let's move that to the stage. So, all right. So, Artie, anything you want to walk us through before the white label that the users might have seen? Then we're going to go. I'll talk about some stuff in the white label, and then we're going to talk new features coming.
Yes. So the most recent update we've put out about 10 days ago was about the managing your collaborators in your account. So we have a dedicated section.
Okay, so let's go to that. So right here, you can see, folks, this is new. This is for all users, nothing to do with the white label. You have collaborators here. And the way that your collaborators work, you can consider this anybody that you have content that you want to collaborate with. This is not necessarily a team member. We're going to be talking about that feature, which is coming soon, where you could add team members to come in and manage the account, but maybe not mess up with your APIs and different things like that. A collaborator is, and let's just open, I'll have two different tabs open here. A collaborator is, let's say that you're working on a particular document here, right? And you have all of this information here. Let's just add something here so that we see some of the chat. And you have information that's here, and you want to share this with someone so that they can come in and add new chats and add new items to the document and build all of the assets for a particular campaign or a particular project. Well, in that case, you would click share, and what you're going to see here, and there'll be a little thing here that will say add collaborator as well. That's going to be coming probably this. That's scheduled for Thursday. So, yeah. So on Thursday, we're making it so that you don't have to exit and go to here. And
Mike, we've lost your audio. It's very weird. Like you're better.
Better?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what just happened, but you went from talking like you were out in the garage to being back in the room. So
my microphone must have went out, and I was probably coming in on their microphones.
you're good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Could you just repeat the last two sentences?
Yeah. So looking at it this way, in order to add a collaborator, when you're in the collaborator, you click invite. You add an email for the person. So let's just say it's john@doe.com, and then you click on include projects, and then this. I don't know if that's my screen. That's a little button there. Maybe it's just the screen. The inactive state, Artie. I didn't even know there was a button there.
Screen.
It's my screen. Okay. Yeah.
All
right. So these are the different projects that I have. And let's say I wanted to add this particular collaborator to these different projects here. I would do that. And it's giving me the tags here. Maybe I don't want this one after all. And then when I'm done here, I click on the send invitation link, and it'll send an invitation just like you would get an email with a Google Doc, et cetera, et cetera.
Sends out an email.
And once that person accepts the invitation, they're going to show up here in my list of collaborators. Right. I don't have any here, but you will have a list of your number of collaborators. From
on
there,
that list, by the way, Mike, you can definitely change their access levels, see all the projects that are part of. It's just the management panel for all your collaborators. It's a centralized management panel for that.
Yeah, so you could add them to more projects, remove them, or remove them altogether.
Remove them altogether if they're
say, hey, I don't even want you in here.
Should no longer be.
And then so once you have that, then when you're working in a document and you go to share, you're going to see your list of collaborators here.
Correct.
That's simple. We're adding a simple feature in here that will say add collaborator inline so that you don't have to back out and go do it.
Based on your feedback, we decided to have the ability to add or invite a collaborator directly from inside a project as well. It worked the exact same way as if you would invite someone from the management panel itself.
So we're basically turning this into a little pop-up modal that they can do inline right there.
Correct.
That's fantastic. And Artie, so the search feature. Talk to us about the status.
So we've been working on search for about 6 weeks now, but we wanted to iron out all the wrinkles that we've been noticing with the white label implementation. We are at a stage where we are ready to release it. So search will be available. It's an instant search. It gives you the ability to type anything in your search bar, and it'll give you results that are related to your projects, any documents inside of your projects, and any conversations you have inside any of your projects. It's super fast. It's a type ahead, and you can.
So it works like this, like Spotlight search, sort of, right?
Correct.
When I open up Spotlight, if I type in the word butterfly, right? We're getting multiple different things. We're saying, hey, here's what it is on Chrome.
Yes.
Here's, you can search for it. Here's a PDF, and then if I scroll down, it'll give me different folders that it's in, etc. So it'll be some type of categorized
Yes.
search. You'll put in-
Projects, documents, and conversations are separate in that sense. So you'll see hits that are related to any projects per se, any documents, or any conversations. You also have the ability to search on your own projects or any projects that you're collaborating on. So we have a switch for that as well. So
I'm going to ask something, or you'll just tell me it's not necessary. I may want, as I'm working in this project, as you see, oh, they're not showing my screen. There we go. I may want to have something that when I'm typing in the word butterfly, it would be nice maybe to have like a little toggle that says this project only. Like, in other words, I want to find something, but I don't need all the hits, because the reason why I ask is what happens if I have a similar product or I cloned a project and I get a hit. When I hit that, does it just leave this project, or does it open in a new window? When you
it'll
select the
take you
hit?
directly to the link. So if you're getting a hit that's related to the document, it'll take you to the project, and will put the focus on the document where you have the hit.
Yeah, so I might want to do a project lock. Like that way, if I see a hit and I think it's the hit, and I click it, it's now going to take me to a new project.
Okay.
And I'm going to, oh, you know what I mean? So,
I totally understand the use
Yeah.
case. So you want to limit the search just to the active.
yeah, let's say I
project
have
that you're
20
on.
document. Can we leave the screen on, folks? Please, thanks. Let's say that I have 20 of these things here, maybe 30, right? You know,
Yeah.
I've got swipe 1 through 7, internal swipe 1 through 7, cart abandoned,
Yeah.
pages, all these different things, and I've got another 30 things that are here. I might just want to know where is the one that I called swipe
Mhm.
number 7, right? And it just and then I'm assuming it's literally just going to go. Let's say I did email swipe 1, right? That's this. It's going to search not only these tabs but also content, right?
It searches the metadata, so names, descriptions to your projects, documents, and any conversations, if there are any available. And then it definitely indexes the content itself as well. So your messages and the document content, all documents inside a project are indexed as well.
And so
That
when I
way-
select here, let's say it was that, as soon as I do that, it's going to go pink right into
Yes,
the one that.
For instance, if the match is in a project name, then the link would take you to the project.
Yeah.
If the match is in a document name, it would take you to the document.
I'll make another suggestion. This is every conversation with Artie, but I think everybody will appreciate when I say
Of
it.
course. Yes.
I think anything out of the project, we should have a little icon with a little arrow that like says opens a new window. So everything that's in a project, and that way I'll get a little notification it's not in your current project. And I would recommend that when you click that in a search, it opens in a new window so you don't leave your current project.
Noted.
Noted. Very good. All right. And then there's also a universal search out here where we don't really need any of that stuff, right?
Yes, this is
This is it's the same search, but now
account wide.
yeah,
Yes.
now I don't care. It can go to wherever it goes. It doesn't have to open in a new window. All right, so that's the search feature that's coming.
Yes. Another one we have is we'll have real-time notifications for any relevant events that are important to our users.
Mhm.
Most important ones are usually any notifications about usage, any type of a notification about billing related information. So we'll have basically a message inbox on the top right corner with a bell icon, which will light up if you have something coming in.
Mhm.
You click it, you see all your notifications in one place. You can archive the ones that you're no longer no longer relevant for you, and then if anything comes in while you're online, it'll be real time, and if you come back, you'll see any previous.
Give us some examples that they might get in their notification.
I think we will start the first implementation will be about any billing or credit card related payment issues, for instance. So if
So billing,
billing, yes,
update your credit card, etc.
yeah, if a charge failed for whatever reason, and you're not aware, as a user, you're not aware of it, you'll definitely see that in your application as well.
Yeah.
We'll obviously, in coordination with the CM side, there might be different types of uh, user communication, customer communication channels that are being involved or getting involved in that procedure as well. But only from our app standpoint, we will have that.
Will we push
feature is-
custom
well.
messages? Will we have something?
That'd be cool.
If you take a look here at the Groove dashboard, if there's something new, right? Whoops, I want to go here. The little bell notification system
Yes.
here will have like latest updates. Will we be able to push different things like that, or that's
Yes,
a different
so
system?
these are system-wide notifications that are relevant to all of our users, so they're not user-specific.
Mhm.
We'll start with user-specific ones. So as a user inside the app, if there's anything that you specifically should know about, we will send you that notification directly to you. Application-wide, system-wide messages, or something that pertains to all of our users, for instance. Let's say we have an upcoming maintenance window where we need to take the app offline maybe for a short while. That type of a message will give us the chance to inform our users ahead of time, and it's system-wide. It pertains to all of our users. So
Right.
it's the second phase of the notification system. So as soon as we have the real time in place, which was the more challenging portion,
Yeah.
have it real time, and
So we're also going to be adding. So we're moving away from the lifetime. Currently, there's no way for anybody to even buy Groove right now. We've taken the ability for you to buy it right now. The only thing you can buy is the white label. But we're going to be launching our new website very soon. Mike, I think I heard somebody knocking at the door. Okay, we're going to be launching a new website that'll be at $99 a month and $199 and $299. I'm going to pull that document up. And let's at least talk about, because the white label owners will want to know this as well. And then we're going to talk about what we're doing in terms of metering usages, counting tokens, because they're different with images and voice and all these new technology that we're going to be adding to the application. Let's talk about this, Artie, before we go there. These apps right here, they currently, when you click on them, go to a GPT.
ChatGPT.
This is where we built them and we test them. And if we go to here, platform.openai, I'm logged in, and you look at these assistants, you're going to see here that
Yes.
we have all of our assistants have been transposed to work natively through the platform. All of our different ones here, and there's probably another 5 or 6 that I've got to get to you. What is the status on that?
Okay, so yes, we are in the middle of integrating custom GPTs, the apps that you created, inside of our own application natively. Meaning, when you want to use an app that's available inside of Groove AI, as a user, you don't need to have a ChatGPT account, and you'll stay inside the app. You don't go anywhere. You'll use it right inside the app. So we are implementing a very similar user interface that we're all familiar with from ChatGPT, especially with the custom GPTs and apps, and that way.
So you'll click. If I could mock it up, it's essentially you're going to click right here, and what's going to happen is it's going to load up, and it's going to look just like. Oh, thank you for sharing my screen. It's going to look just like this. It's hard to see here, but
If you go to project, actually, not just the chat, but if you go to project,
correct, right, yeah, because you're gonna. We have that here. We can just open up the features here.
Yes,
as well.
yes.
Yeah.
So it would from a layout perspective, it will look very similar. So you'll have a left-hand side with all your available apps. At the bottom of it, you'll probably have some sort of a history list of your previous conversations, and then you will have your active chats. Depending on which app you started the conversation with, you'll be able to switch to different apps during the conversation as well.
The only thing we haven't tested yet, and you and I spoke about this about 10 days ago, is there a system prompt? I don't believe there's a system prompt in the apps API. where we can append any of this information here as a system prompt. We would have to append it to the initial prompt.
We have to do it our own way.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. So, reason being is that the assistance API from OpenAI is still in beta. So certain features that we would love to have aren't available, and certain features are probably in the works, may become available. Others may get phased out. So we're working with what we have, but in terms of improving the user experience and the efficiency of the results that we are, the efficiency of the custom chat, the custom apps as well. If there's anything we need to do, we have to do it ourselves. So we're prepared to do that. We'll bite the bullet. And if there's no way if there's no way to accommodate an additional system prompt, but if you find a
We'll
way,
just put it into the regular prompt.
yes,
We'll append it as a prefix.
if we find a definitive need for something like that, custom, so to speak, we will have to implement it ourselves.
We're going to default it where that side panel doesn't come on.
Yes.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, the way that a custom GPT works is it's pre-seasoned with many of those things. Generally, it's told, act like a direct response marketer in the style of Clayton Makepeace. Put your output like this. Use this tone. Use this style. That's the whole thing about the GPT, is that you can plug and play a little bit easier and just upload a document, say, rewrite this email. If you start bringing in our side panel, which we will let you do, even ChatGPT doesn't do that. They don't necessarily have a way for you to append what's known as a system prompt. We will allow you to put different things in there to like change the output of the language and override some this is the best way to say it. If you are using the side panel, and we'll just share my screen, what I mean by the side panel here is this. Add to stage. If you're using this panel here and telling it to use a particular one of your presets that you have, let's do a drop down here. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, turn on any of these presets that you might have here. Let's just say this here. Anything that you add here is going to either append or override, right? So if we're already telling it who to speak to, that the target market is a certain person, this will either append it if it doesn't say that or override it. So generally the way it's going to work is the app will just open up just like this, and it's pre-programmed, the GPT, the assistant, to just work out of the box, and then you can transpose everything here. If you want to go in here and start adding some of these things and tell it to, change it from, maybe the GPT is meant to write emails, and now you want to tell it to, write a blog, and I just got to turn that on. You want to tell it to write a blog. You're kind of messing with the GPT. Yes. You're giving it two instructions. You're saying, write this in an email, and then you're telling it to append it to a blog. So we're going to most likely tell you, let the GPT do what it wants. If you want to go in there and do a couple of different settings in the output, like a different language, you'll be able to do that.
We'll focus on usability, first and foremost, the user experience, and then at the same time keep the custom app as efficient as possible in its whatever response it produces. So it'll be in the first implementation stage, it'll be as close as possible to what we have available as the custom ChatGPT apps. What you're talking about is basically a power user mode.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where the app in itself does what it's supposed to do. There's no confusion about it. You're not confused. The app is not confused. Yeah. You go into power user mode, there's a good chance you can confuse yourself as well as the app.
Yeah.
But it's up to you. So we'll obviously strive to have certain features available for our power users as well at some stage. I don't think it'll be available in its initial implementation.
And not needed. The GPTs are not, they're designed to work.
The good thing is, though, that we are working on reproducing the add mention feature.
Yeah, let me show what that means there.
So you can start a conversation with an app, but switch during the conversation to bring in a different app to maybe take care of a particular issue that pertains to your task or your overall goal, and then switch back to the original app.
Yeah, if you can build that into the regular chat
Yes.
too, just like if you just start just a regular chat. Yeah, so what that means is, folks, all of these GPTs that you can see here, sales copy polisher, better blog post, I can just mention them here, but let's just say I actually start with better blog post, right? And I say, write me one paragraph about Ben Franklin. Okay, so we're going to get our output. I'm just going to click stop, right? We don't need to watch the paint dry. What we can do now is I can pull up other GPTs by just simply typing in @ like I do in Facebook. If I wanted to tag you, I'm tagging the GPT. So I'm going to type in better bullets. And now I can say, give me 5. And it should give me 5 bullets about Ben Franklin. Are you looking for 5 compelling, neat, and concise? The GPT is meant to ask me that. I want neat and concise. And great, it's going to give me 5 bullet points about Ben Franklin. And so I can just click stop right here. And now I can open up, let's say, killer email copy. And I can say, write an email to my list that promotes this blog post. Right? And I didn't have to get out of it at any particular time and do something like, well, now that I've got this blog post here, let me copy this, open up a new chat, go into here and find that GPT, which is, let's see, killer email copy. And then I would have to go into here and then paste and say, write me an email. And then when I was done, I would take that output, start a new chat, and get bullets. With the ability to use the @mention feature, absolutely, to have it's basically asking me for more information, but you get it. The @mention feature allows you to pull up all of your GPTs at one time and then use them in the same thread. So that's Artie, is that going to be released with it, or it's going to come live and then added?
That's the goal.
Oh, wow.
But we always strive to release
the core.
the core features first as soon as we can, and follow up with improvements. Again, we're on a rolling cycle. Every 2 weeks on average, we have a new release coming up with at least 3-4 different.
Every Thursday, every other Thursday.
It depends on the day, but it's like every 2 weeks on average.
Don't hold us to that. It's a 2 weeks, twice a month
on average.
Yeah.
So I can average it out to 2 weeks.
Yeah. Artie, here's just a request I'm going to ask. I think when we load Groove, because we don't have any statistics, right? We don't have anything sexy to load when they get into the app. For Groove AI, we're loading what you're seeing on my screen. Right?
The dashboard.
Yeah, the dashboard. We're loading something that looks. I'm trying to get the full screen.
Yeah.
Looks more like this.
Yeah.
I think this should just be the default. The apps. It's probably just a more colorful user interface.
We
Yeah.
could. Yeah,
Yeah.
certainly we could switch to that.
Yeah, it's just something that shows apps, and then that would probably be the default dashboard. I don't know. Just trying
No,
to.
that's at some point. That's a great suggestion, and at some point we could actually make it user configurable, so people can actually.
Or we could do something like, I think what would be nice is, see, when you look at the projects, right, and we look at them like that, what we could probably do is like list like your latest 3 projects, your latest 3 documents, your latest 3 chats, and then the apps underneath it. But we'll talk about something like that.
I mean, I think that's how the dashboard is set up right now. It shows you the recent documents and projects.
Yeah. I think just showing them that they're more like this. I think showing them like this just has a nicer,
it's more impactful.
on the this kind of looks like loading up Google Docs. All right. So all right. So moving on now, let's talk about the as I said before we go to the white label, which I can find my document here. Let's go to the pricing and talk about some of these things because white label owners are going to want to know about this as well. I'll zoom this in. I know it's tough for you to see, Artie.
It's a bit difficult to read it from this distance.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for you, but I'll basically highlight the things that are important. So a $99 customer
Yes.
will be getting one team member themselves and the ability to add one team member. However, they cannot collaborate. They get no collaborators. They
Right.
can't share. It's a single use platform. That's why we call it personal use. You can add one additional person on your team, but it's really meant for you. If somebody's going to complain about that, I'm going to basically say, hey, that's what ChatGPT is.
I also want to point out the difference between collaborators and team members. So you don't have any collaborators on this plan level, but a team member is essentially someone who has access to the app, to the complete platform, to the app itself, except for some areas that are only relevant to the owner, like
Yeah,
billing
like your
or
API keys, your billing, your
keys,
credit card
configuration.
information.
and they don't have any permissions that would disrupt your application or your account, like you know, deleting documents or anything like
Yeah,
that.
we'll give them. There'll be levels to a team member. Like one will be, they get complete access. They can delete things. That's kind of like for the owner that like just doesn't get involved and needs that one person on the team that runs the company.
Yeah, you can have admin,
Yeah.
support manager.
Yeah, it's like an admin, and then there'll be just like a team level, which they can go in. They just won't be able to delete anything. They could create, but they can't destroy. And a super admin will be able to not. You'll even have one that'll just like imitate the owner. Will allow them to.
Yeah, it's basically an additional account.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's not an additional account in terms of it's your account, but it's an additional user on
Yeah.
your account, just like you.
Yeah, so that's
With
super
full access to
admin,
the whole
admin,
app.
and team are probably the three levels they're going to be, and that's just letting your employees go in and work together on the application. The collaborators, we envision collaborators more for agencies with clients. It's you want to be able to create something and hand it off to a client and let them collaborate with you on it. And a team member is more, let's see, not changing view. Okay, sorry. I'm just reading out loud here. Not changing the view because you told me not to, but no one could see you. Yeah, no problem. I'll try to work with you guys as well and steal the screen back and forth. So moving back to this document here, it's important to note that you only get one team member or your clients if you're a white label, if the $99 plan. So let me just get this out of the way. What if I'm a lifetime user? Don't worry. The lifetime user gets basically all of this plus because you're not even limited because you use your own API key. What we're talking about, just expressing to everyone now that Groove AI is going recurring billing, what the plans are going to be, which also step in line 100% in step with a white label owner will be offering the same thing to their users. So there's no collaborators and one team member. As you go to 199, you can put 5 people on your team and 25 collaborators. If you want to add a 26th, you have to remove one of the other people that you've added. And if you want to eliminate all of that, you just go to $299 a month and you will have unlimited team members and unlimited collaborators with an asterisk there. Like, like it doesn't mean that you could add a million, but
fair use.
yeah, fair use. It'll be listed as unlimited, and if for some reason we find out that somebody's hacked the system and they're adding
We'll talk to
1,000
you.
users a day or something through an automation script, we're going to go in and go, hey, that's not the intended use or fair use, as you said, Artie, for this. But if somebody would have 130 collaborators after 3 years, that's no issue, right? You want to have 32
Not
team
at all.
members. That's why you get the $299 a month plan. All right. So let's move back full screen here to you and me, Artie, and let's talk about the next thing is that as we're moving to this, we've realized that we don't want our white label owners or us having to have and folks, you don't hear it, but there's construction going on, knocking, clanking everywhere out there. Thank goodness these microphones don't let you hear what we're hearing. But 2 months of construction, they're redoing the entire lobby in the homeowners association, and we're stuck with it. So we don't want the users to have to go and add their API keys. And Artie, we'll even be talking about knowledge bases. That might just be going to a credit system as well. And we want to make it very easy for a user to just onboard and start using the application.
Yes.
So we are we are currently, for the white label owners, creating that. So Artie, where talk about the status of that and when you see that, the estimated date of that rolling out.
It actually goes hand in hand with the implementation of the custom apps, because the apps need to be in a specific account, so you cannot even use these assistants from the accounts with from API keys that belong to different accounts. So there's no way to bring your own key, basically, to use.
Oh, that's even. Let me even interrupt you there, Artie. I apologize. One of the things that we have to do, folks, with the apps is they can only work. You can't plug an API key into it. They have to use our API key. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be allowing you to buy these things that are called rollover packs at OpenAI's rates at $25 a pop, and they'll re-up. Once you'll say once I get below $5, add another $25. So once we roll out these apps, you will not be using your OpenAI API key. It won't let you. The apps, as you can see, were hosted on on our development platform, and the only way that we'd be able to do it for lifetime owners is we would have to give you all the instructions to build your custom apps, create a user interface for you. Every time we added a new one, you'd have to rebuild it and plug in your API key. These things are not meant to work like that. They're not meant to work multi-tenant. They're meant to work. It's like my GPT. So once it's in the app, it costs us to use it. So what you're going to do is you're going to buy a $25 credit at the same rates that you would pay OpenAI. You just buy them upfront from us, and you're going to be using our API key, even if you're a lifetime owner, but only for the apps. Only for the apps. Who knows? Maybe we'll talk with you guys. Maybe you'll say, hey, just get rid of the API key and let us just buy it from you at $25 at a time. The only difference is OpenAI charges you incrementally, and with us, you'd buy it up front. We have no intention of doing that for the apps unless you guys tell us just do it that way. It's easier. But we might even give you that choice because it's going to be built into the app where you could use your own API. However, the GPT assistant apps, you will have to buy those credits from us ahead of time at the rates of OpenAI. We promised you OpenAI wholesale pricing, and you'll get OpenAI wholesale pricing.
Correct. So with regards to that, the apps, along with the API key implementation to use those apps, they obviously go hand in hand. But the first stage is scheduled to be completed by end of this month, which will be the technical implementation of the apps themselves, and we'll follow up immediately right after with the usage tracking and those
metering.
rollover.
Yeah, we're
and
building in a complete metering system
absolutely
that allows us to manage the allotted tokens that members get. And a $99 member, we'll just share my screen here. A $99 customer will be given $5 credit that gets charged to the white label owner or to us if people are buying it from us. And $5 credit from OpenAI. That means that the white label owner will profit $94 because there's a cost to use services, and that will give your user 125,000 words per month, or on the best or latest GPT model. So as we're always going to be saying the latest models, and if they go up, these numbers might go down, but there's always a legacy option that the user can do in the drop downs. And this isn't something I've spoken with Artie about, but we're probably going to, when you choose a model, we're probably going to be giving you a price here as well in the drop down, like so many cents per token, so that you can see the difference. You may want to, in some cases, drop down, or your user may want to drop down to ChatGPT 3.5 because it's 10 times as less. And that means they could go to 1.25 million words as opposed to 125,000 words. So we're always pricing at the latest and best and most expensive GPT model. The user will always have the option to drop down and lower their pricing. But 125,000 words, what does that actually look like? That's about 300 pages of Google Docs or 2 detailed 150-page PDF reports. If we were to go to Small business at $199, they're going to nearly 425,000 words, which is 900 pages or 6 detailed 150-page PDF reports. Just so you know, Butterfly Marketing Manuscript was 131. So this would allow you each month to create 6 Butterfly Marketing PDFs. That's more than we ever use in our company. That's a lot of work there. And at $299, the user gets 625,000 words per month, 1,500 pages, 10 detailed reports, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to get too bogged down in here. This is something that we're going to be putting on the front end of the website for people that want to buy it. Doesn't really apply to lifetime users. The white label owners want to know this because they're offering it. And then after that, in any month, the user, if let's say they run out of this and they're just got 30 people on their team, well, what they'll do, if they run out after the 10th day, they will buy a $25 rollover pack. That $25 rollover pack will probably give them another 625 words. The white label owner shares the profits with us because there's a markup, but we'll worry about that for more when we're doing white label training. The bottom line is that we wanted to share with you today is that we are building in that metering system and with the apps. And Artie, when do we anticipate on that going live?
Again, this will be available towards the end of this month.
We'll make it this month is the goal. Great.
I have an upcoming call with the actual CEO of the company that we are collaborating with on the metering.
Mhm.
Right now, believe me, everyone out there is trying to find a solution for metering AI tokens and usage, since the providers themselves don't provide that information to you directly from their infrastructure. So we basically do the accounting ourselves instead of getting it directly from them.
Yeah. So
And-
OpenAI basically tells you the amount of tokens that you use,
Yes.
but they don't tell you the dollar amount.
No.
So you can only meter tokens. So if you're trying to tell a customer they get $25 credit per month, there's no system for that, and nobody's built one.
Again, OpenAI is also a startup, so
They'll
we'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
I'm pretty sure their next
hope-
developer release, they'll say they'll yeah, they'll probably release something that says, hey, you can do billing by dollar amount.
that would be absolutely phenomenal. I think everyone out there using their models to build their business on, for instance, like what we're trying to do here, would definitely appreciate something like that
Yeah.
to be available.
And one of the
There
things,
is probably at this stage we're taking care of our own business, our own needs right now. So, but it obviously we have to be very careful, and especially with metering, we want to make sure that's accurate and reflect.
The activities.
yeah, one of the important thing that just so everybody understands is like what's so complicated to calculate tokens. It's there's different pricing per model. So there's GPT-4,
different per model.
GPT-4 11.106 preview. There's 3.5, 3.5. Then there's ChatGPT Vision. Then there's DALL-E images. Then there's voice, and all these things that we're going to be adding. Every one of them have this fuzzy, usage. Like
It's different.
you can't even
calculated.
say like how much it costs, per image generation. All of these things.
It's
are
a little,
different.
yeah, it's a bit different if it's outbound and inbound. I think.
And then when
That
we're going to be
too, yes.
talking, yeah,
Input tokens, whatever you send over to them, are actually billed cheaper than what they reply to you.
yeah.
So if you send a sentence and they reply with a 5-page document,
Did you know? I think it's built in that way. Look,
Yeah.
I
gets
constantly tell it.
expensive.
I
And
constantly
then when you
tell it.
repaste the document to send it back, yeah.
well, you need to maintain the context and the history of your conversation. So obviously, there's an unavoidable reuse of some tokens that are part of the conversation.
That's where
Yeah, I think that ChatGPT is built to be verbose because they get to charge you based on that. So what'll happen is it'll write you an email and you'll
I
say,
hope you really like my answer today. It took me quite a while to come up with it. Yeah,
right, it gives you all this
Yeah.
pre and post, but it also will say something like you'll say something like, hey, I asked you to include a PS. Can you get, and I'll even say, can you give me just the PS? Sometimes I'm like, and then what it does is it rewrites the entire email and then gives you the PS and wastes all the tokens. And when you're using API credits, it's a waste. But also, as you guys were saying, I don't want to get too technical here, but when you start a conversation, this is the input token, and then it sends that and then gives you an output token. But when you just say, can you rewrite that for me? it doesn't just charge you for that sentence that says, can you rewrite that for me, and your new output. It takes the entire thread.
Yes.
So it has context. So you're paying again for your first prompt, the output that was given, your second prompt, and the output that was given. And then, yes, it needs context of the threads. So when
so when you say memento, it doesn't even remember 1% token. It's got to read it also.
Yeah, so that's the
That's
thing.
why
What
it builds
that
so big,
memento
right.
movie thing is that it needs to understand all of the stuff. And so now there's things that happen when the conversation gets too long, it exceeds the total input window. Sometimes it's 8K, 16K, 32K, and that's even something that we might even have to talk about, Artie,
Yes.
is in letting the users limit the tokens to 16K, 32K. Why? What that means is, well, if they have a long document, they're not going to get the same quality if they bring it down to 8K, but they're going to pay a lot less money.
We're also
If they move it to 128K, we're basically saying send all the context, and sometimes it's not needed to send every single response that you've had after 30 times. So what happens is there's ways that these companies do it. When the document starts getting long, what they do is they send the first and part of the last, and then they take everything in the middle, and they take 10% of the words and put it into the context.
correct. There's efforts in place to optimize the utilization of your context.
Yeah.
So it becomes
Summarize.
more cost effective.
Yeah.
So one strategy, just to give you an example, just like the one you
First
just
and last
described,
and
is basically
optimize
you can
middle.
at some point, if the context gets too big, you can ask it to be summarized.
Yeah.
So from that point on forward, the history, maybe it's
All of the chats, go through a
128,000
summary,
tokens,
and
turns into 3-paragraph summary, and then you
and that's the
continue
only
from there.
context that you have.
But I really do wanted you to mention that I wanted to send flowers, and you skip that one very.
Well, that's the argument that you start happening. You say, hey, I told you I want everything written in H1 tags.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then again, it wastes your tokens. Oh, yes, I'm really sorry. You're right, blah, 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 blah. And then it rewrites it again.
I guess we have to keep in mind that these AI models are not deterministic, but probabilistic. So
Yes.
there's always a chance that it will come back with something slightly different every time you ask the same question, because it's based on probabilities versus then, it's not a deterministic system.
We could go down the rabbit hole here for you,
Cool.
folks. We'll leave that part of it right there. The bottom line is what we just said is the metering system is complex, and at the same time, we have the want and the need and the desire to make it as affordable as possible, so you're getting the best output without wasting all the tokens. But the better context goes in, the better output. So there are optimization systems that are available off the shelf for us, and we're going to be putting those things in. They're already in, and we're just going to keep optimizing that for you. So moving on to, let's go and share my screen here. I'll just pop this one in. Okay. Let's do the one there. All right, so we're going to move over to the white label right now. And let's talk about some new things that happened here in the white label, Artie, since we last spoke with members. They've gotten just some basic updates. Number one, now they can now add users. They have complete user management, and anybody that buys, they can see here in their white label admin. And again, if you're a white label owner, you'll see white label here where you can build this out. This account tab is not live yet. That's where we're going to put all your billing information. Yes. Branding. Artie, did we do that thing where we were doing the lock and all that? Did that go live?
That's that's part of a pending release. The color lock.
Yeah, we're giving you the option to lock the color and not just like, in other words, let's say we were Groove and we wanted it to be pink. We're going to give you the ability to lock the user, but also we're going to give you, if you don't lock the user, we're going to give the user the ability to choose their own custom color as well that they prefer. All right. So we don't need to get too much into that. This is just stuff when it comes out, we'll let you know. The support, we've added some things here that when you load up your white label, that if somebody clicks on Help Center and they click on Support Desk, it doesn't show user hasn't entered that information yet. We used to have something like field left blank or something like that. So we're not doing that anymore. Now what it will do when you add something, let me just see here. Support. If you add in, let's just get this. Here's my help desk. You will put that in here. I'll click save. And now when we reload this, you're going to see that just that item was added here. Yes. Okay. And so any different things that you want to add to your support, such as a support email, like ours is support@groovedigital.com. If you want to put a phone number, we have 1-800 Groove something, I forget what it is, and you would hit save, and then all of those things would now start showing up automatically for your users there, like that. Okay. Artie, the sign up URL, is that going away?
No,
that's I see.
no, it's not. It's basically
That's the join.
it takes you. That's the URL you could use to take your potential prospects to a sales page or an order form.
Yeah, we probably should change that to say sales page URL or pricing page URL, something like that, just for the users. It's
sure.
All right. So, folks, you'll have your site, right? Ours is groove.ai/pricing, right? Something like that. And that is going to be used because your users, when they're inside the app, they're going to have a little thing where they manage their plan and they can upgrade or downgrade or get different plans. That's why that's there. The users, especially if you'll notice, there's the ability for you to add a collaborator that doesn't have a Groove account and it's free. And then when they come in, they're going to be told that they can work with your project, right? They may be a collaborator in this project right here, but they're going to see a little button that says upgrade. And when they click that button, it's going to go to your pricing page so they can, this is the beautiful thing about people sharing with collaborators. They're going to come in and go, wow, this is a cool app. And when they upgrade, you get paid as a white label owner. One of the things we just want to let you know, free owners, they don't have to add an API key. They're allowed to do 10 chats per day. And as soon as they close their browser, they lose all of their data, right? So we're going to constantly encourage them if they go click share or anything. Little things, Artie, we'll probably talk about adding is maybe like a save button just to trigger a pop-up modal that says you're a free user to save your information, create a free plan, something like that. But we're going to do all of those things that they lead to a sale will be coming. So next, I think I closed it. I shouldn't have. API keys, Artie, you want to talk about the webhooks here? These have changed.
I'm just going to try to clarify a few things that I've noticed that might be creating some sort of a confusion for our
while you do that, you can go focus on
white
Artie.
label owners.
I'm going to go to the little boys' room. I'll be right back.
So, as a white label owner, you are a user of the Groove AI platform. So the first place you log in as a white label owner and as a user of the Groove AI platform is to Groove.ai. That's where you manage your own white label. You have your own management panel there for your white label. You can what just Mike showed you, the branding, the API key. So the API key, as a white label owner, you have to provide the system your own OpenAI API key so that your end users can benefit from the initial credit amount that is available or is provided to them with their plan. So based on their plan level, there's a certain amount of usage that they are entitled to, and that usage will be handled through your system API key that belongs to you as the white label owner. If they run out of that, they have the option to still switch over to their own key, or they have to wait until the next billing cycle kicks in and they get more credit to use as well. So that's the white label, the system API key for a white label. You have to have it in place, otherwise your end users won't be able to benefit from the free credit that they're entitled to that comes along with their plan that they're subscribed to.
You're talking very low, Artie. Sorry.
Okay, I'm literally touching the mic right now.
No, it's just your voice is very low.
Oh,
yeah.
can't do much about that.
Hey, Artie,
Um,
here's the secret, Artie, is that pretend like Mike is in the men's room and you're talking to him.
Project.
Yeah, just talk to somebody in a different room, and that will solve all the microphone issues.
Oh, so raise my volume.
Yeah,
That's
talk more
right.
like this. So, hey, Artie, next thing I want to talk about. something like
All
that
right.
probably help.
Yes, I'll do my best. I promise. Okay, so the the next thing
I just want to talk about that because I stepped away. They won't need to add their API key.
no, they
obviously.
don't.
Yeah.
End users.
Even the white label owner won't, right? No, they won't. Once we roll into the new thing, it's
Oh,
gonna be all-
yes, I'm
Yeah.
talking about the situation right now.
yeah, the current situation.
Current situation.
Correct.
Yes.
Commando.
So yes, once we roll over to a system platform level API key, then nobody needs to bring their own key unless they
that
really
should be by the
want-
end of the month.
Yes, yes. Um,
And the webhooks.
no, the apps, the initial phase of the apps will be by the end of this month,
Mhm.
and we'll follow up immediately
With the billing.
with the billing and the API key switch. So that may obviously go into April for sure.
Yeah. Now you did a lot of work with the webhooks. All we can say is they're working, and that box has been checked.
Yes, so the webhooks are fine, and we are receiving them as long as we are receiving them. We can process them. So the most recent effort on the GrooveCM side may have had an impact on webhooks not being triggered.
Mhm.
Therefore, if we didn't receive anything,
It's not a Groove AI issue. It's a Groove.CM
we-
refactoring
yes,
bug. Gotcha.
we may have obviously be missing out on those triggers, and there's nothing for us to process. We don't receive anything. The confusion that I wanted to point out is that if you, as a white label owner, add a collaborator right from your Groove.ai account, that person will get the invitation email branded as a Groove.ai email. If you send the invitation from your own white label, which you can access as well, obviously you're the white label owner, so you have access to that. If you send out the invitation from your own white label account, then the invitation
Let
email
me
will
show
be
that on
branded,
screen
will
because
be
you
branded
guys are
to your
putting in a
own,
number of.
white label. So there might be some sort of a confusion there. Where
Yeah, let me show that on screen. The customers are sending in a lot of white label owners are sending in a lot of help desk tickets on that. So here I am. I'm in Groove.ai, and this is where I manage my white label. You can see it says white label admin here, right? And now I'm going to let me just close this here. I'm going to go to my domain, and yours is going to be already connected. I didn't connect mine to a custom domain, but it would look something like this. So now you can see it mirrors the projects, the projects that we have here. And I was talking to a person named Dylan, and that's why this says Dylan, and this was Mike Koenigs. You'll see the same projects are also here in the Groove.ai. So what we want you to know is that if you send any invite that you send when you work on a project, it's going to send the invite to whatever app that you're currently in, and it's going to invite them to Groove.ai. If you want to send an invite from your white label so that somebody doesn't get a Groove AI email, make sure that you're seeing this logo here, and then you would go to collaborators, and you would send an invitation, and it's going to come from this white label platform.
Correct.
It's that simple. All right. And so a lot of people are like, hey, I have a white label and I sent an invite. It's like, yeah, you did it while you were logged into Groove. And so the system, it can't read your mind. So
that's absolutely the case. So I think some of our users may have been confused because of that. I wanted to just quickly add something to webhooks. The ability to add and manage users directly from your white label panel. It's possible to do that. Just keep in mind that if you add someone manually and there's anything that pertains to that particular account that you just added that's been triggered by through GrooveCell or the CRM system in general, that person, since it has been added manually, is not connected. It's not going to receive any CRM related updates through webhooks. So you have to make sure if someone if an account, especially manually added accounts, are disconnected from the CRM, if they should, because you may have just created a comp account to a friend of yours,
Right.
right? So there's no CRM record even for it.
Correct.
We can't even process any webhooks if we were ever to receive anything. So if that's the case, sometimes if you added
And when you say CRM, you mean managing it through Groove.
Groove,
Yeah.
yes, the whole ecosystem,
Yeah.
of GrooveCM.
CM.
I tend to call it
Yeah.
CRM just by
Yeah,
habit.
no, it is. That's better because we have to distinguish Groove.ai and Groove.CM.
Yes. So again, as long as they're connected, and you'll see a little indicator next to their names or email addresses that says CRM.
Mhm.
If they see that, that means if we receive any webhooks, those webhooks, if they pertain to that user, they will be processed. So if that shuts them off or turns and moves them up to a different level or whatever the webhook is about, it will be effective. If there's no indicator that that person or that account is connected to GrooveCM, the CRM side, any webhooks that may still come in won't affect that
Yeah.
account, because, as I said, it may have been just an account that was created as a comp account, or
Yeah.
or for whatever reason.
So let me just go to one more thing. I don't think it was ever formally announced, other than an email or something. We had originally told you that you can use Groove.ai white label with any CRM. Like if you wanted to use it with High Level or Samcard or Kajabi or Keep or something, that is no longer the case.
Mhm.
The reason why that is, and it has to be, and first of all, there's no other white label solution in the world that allows you to sell and keep the profits yourself other than High Level, and you have to use High Level. So with us, you have to use Groove, and it's not because we want everything closed and contained. It's because we realize there's an absolute disaster that happens with the webhook. If you were to show the webhook to anybody on a live stream, that webhook can be used to create an account for anybody's application. And so the only way, there was just no way around it. That webhook is basically an endpoint that says, when this fires, create an account. And if there was one person doing a tutorial and shared that webhook, then everybody with a white label would be at risk for the fact that there's a webhook out there that creates free accounts. And when they create a free account, it can create a free account for every white label. And then, the only way that we could do that is we have two things that happen. One is it fires, and then there's a handshake from Groove.CM that says, hey, did a transaction actually go through? And that's something that only we can do at Groove.CM. We can't tell Samcart and Keep and Infusionsoft to add this additional handshake. So the thing is I can show those webhooks now. They're protected with an asterisk, but if I show them, it doesn't mean anything because they have to be fired, and a handshake has to come from Groove.CM that says, yes, a sale actually just took place right now. So there's no way for anybody to hack into get free accounts. So just want to let you know, we never said that. So just keep in mind, if you do want to sell Groove.ai, you do need to set the products up with Groove and process it through there. Correct, Artie? I said all that right?
Yes. So the setup will be completely, once it's in place and up and running, handled through GrooveCell
Mhm.
and through the product setup in there. So there would be no need to manually create those webhooks or copy them out of the AI side and then put them into any type of product that you need to set up so that you can sell your white label.
Yeah.
So that would be all taken care of. Now, as a precaution, it's always safe to keep those webhooks safely
Hidden,
guarded and so they don't leak for whatever reason. Because if for whatever reason a webhook leaks, we would still have to take some measures on our end to make sure that we no longer honor that
Look,
webhook and replace it or
hackers are going to always, if worst case scenario, they'll just say, well, I'll get a free Groove account and then create a product at $1 or something like that. So you want to protect these things. Artie's laughing. He's like, why are you giving them clues? But look, if I can think of it right now, anybody can think of it, right? So protect the APIs, but the bottom line is we've added a layer of protection that says Groove has to give the handshake. That's the way that it has to be. And if we find out that a webhook is leaked on the internet, we know whose it is. It's yours. And then we're going to come to you and say, hey, you put everybody at risk. You know, you're putting your white label at risk. We may pull it from you for negligence, right? So protect. Don't do what I'm talking about right here. Is this? Don't do a demo showing people how to do this. Click on webhooks and then click on the eye and reveal it publicly. It needs to be kept sacred. All right. So we're going to be wrapping up real soon. What we're going to be doing is I'm going to be doing next week. I'll get with Donna. We'll be doing our Groove.AI training. I'll probably talk about future features because you guys want to know what's coming. But while I have Artie here, I want to talk about some things that you guys are asking and let you know that we're thinking the same things. So first, let's talk about the different technologies that are available at first OpenAI and then the other platforms and our thoughts about that as well. So Artie, images. Where is that? Because that's we discussed that. It's very. You can go on a wide on us, guys. We're having a conversation. We're at the point where we understand that it's basically Mike Jones. If you can go on a wide, please. Thanks. We're at the point right now where when we realize what images is. It's just another version of chat swapped out with a different model. So what are we looking for that to add images to the app?
I would have to, to give you specifics, I would have to take a look at my roadmap notes. But images based on DALL-E.
Yeah, DALL-E 3.
DALL-E 3 will basically be a matter of a chat where you can ask for a specific image. And just like you ask for a completion using our interface now.
Yeah, just prompt for an image. Yep.
You'll get an image back. We'll utilize DALL-E in the back end. There'll be a certain way of how that usage and the production of that image will be metered.
Tokenized and metered. Yep.
And there's obviously a cost aspect to it. It's slightly different from tokens per se.
Yeah, they give a cost per image.
Yes.
Yeah, like 2 cents an image.
It's depending on the size and such as well. And then I guess what I have in my notes is basically once we have that process in place, how do we want to make sure that the user experience is top notch? Where you have a way maybe to save those images into a folder. Do you want to keep them inside the app, or do you want to take them?
Yeah, so I'll let everybody know.
Download
this
them.
is a discussion that we're going to have.
So we'll have to clarify and finalize those.
Most of the image software out there, when you see it, DALL-E, Bing, most of them they produce the image for you. When you pull up the chat, it's still there. So your image is sort of hosted there. Companies like Leonardo actually give you an image generation library that you can go back, click, see the prompt that created it. You and I will talk about that. I would venture to say that the original one, what it's going to have is it's just going to have the image. What you will do is you will have the ability when you hover over the image to see a little download icon. When you click on that, you'll save it to your drive.
Correct.
Because this is a different type of image generation. With AI, it's not something we want to add every image to the library because it's an iterative process. Every time you create an image, sometimes you don't like it. You're like, let me try a new prompt. Let me try a new prompt. Now do it with a nighttime background. That's the one that I want. And then at that point, the first thing we'll do is give you the ability to download it. And then maybe we will add an image library where when you hover over that, it'll say download or add to image library. And then we'll give you an image library. And then we'll talk about that. Does that hold, your last 100 images?
Correct.
All that stuff. Artie and I will work out.
Absolutely. I've seen a few implementations that made sense to me when I looked at them. It was basically whatever image you get back. That system is definitely hosting it for you temporarily. So it may go away in a few minutes, may go away in a day or two. And obviously you have the option to just download it.
Yeah.
There are other ways to maintain the most recent number of images or over a certain duration of time.
ChatGPT will hold the image, but if we're using ChatGPT, it'll come back in the chat thread when you open up that chat.
Correct. So so we have to clarify a few things so that the end user experience with regards to image generation is on par with the what we try to achieve with the app in general as well.
And what I have here, you're seeing on the screen here, is the document editor. The document editor has things like bold and unbold and H1 tags and adding, different code here like this. Not even sure what that is here. But one of the things you notice missing from the document editor is add an image. We don't have the ability for you to add an image here. So that's another thing that we're going to be adding, because we understand the importance of writing an email and being able to have your person that's sending the email, if you're going to be adding images and graphics to the image. So we're going to be adding images to this document editor as well for you. So that'll be coming soon. And Artie, what we'll probably have to talk about, if what we're going to do with hosting images. We haven't spoken about
that's one of the things that we need to clarify. For instance, we technically should be able to add an icon to that toolbar, which allows you to embed an image into that document. But then again, we're saving text, but we're not. Then we need to find a way to how do we store this additional image that's part of the document now, right?
Yeah.
Where does it live?
Exactly. And how long do we keep it?
And how long
do we meter this? Do we say at $99 a month, you get 3 gigabytes of storage, whatever that might be? We're going to have that discussion. And then finally, the last thing that we're going to talk about are language models and other AI technology besides ChatGPT. It's getting to the point where it's becoming a commodity. Okay, it's literally becoming commoditized. Every single day, there's Llama 2, then there's talks of Llama 3, and then Google comes out with Gemini, and they have an API. Then there's Claude 3, which is friggin' super fantastic. Then there's Mistral 7B, which is lightweight and fast. And then there's a new processor that allows you to use Mistral 7B, and it's called Grok, GROQ, not Twitter's GROK. Both inspired from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. 42, Matt, I know that with you. So are we going to have those language models? Absolutely, yes. We're just going to build them into the system. It'll be in the drop-down. We'll have a little thing that will give you some approximate per word or per 1,000 words. Just understand this. If we go to Mistral or Mixtral Large, or even Mixtral 7B, which is a 7 billion parameter, most of these large language models like ChatGPT 4 compared to 3.5 are really meant for reasoning and processing data and spreadsheet data and code interpreter. For content creation and writing blogs, in my opinion, with the latest models of Mistral that are like 93% is ChatGPT, for content creation, it never needs to get any better. Like you're not going to get that much better in writing the content and SEOs. It's really about the context windows, which are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So the point that I'm making is we're reaching a point where this is becoming a commodity. It's not going to matter which model you use. You're going to use the model that is the fastest and the cheapest. And right now, we could use Mistral and Grok, and we will be about 100 times cheaper. So that means what costs you $25 will now cost you 25 cents. Literally. So OpenAI is going to be changing their pricing very soon. But here's what they do to sucker you in. They're going to lower the 4.0, they're going to lower the 3.5, and they're going to come out with ChatGPT 4.5 and keep the price the same. And Claude just did that. Claude's new model is more expensive than ChatGPT, but you don't need it. People are doing tests, and they're seeing that, there's Opus, which is like, magnum opus, so that's the biggest. And then there's Sonnet, which is a small one. And then what's the middle? No, Haiku is the small one, and Sonnet is the middle one. The Sonnet is about 1/10 the price of ChatGPT 4, and it's at 96% as good as ChatGPT 4. So what we'll be seeing in the next 90 days to 3 to 6 months, we're going to add all of the different models. The price is going to go from when we're telling users at $2.99, they're getting $25 worth of credits. We could either say they're getting 25 cents worth of credits and give them the same amount, or we could say that we're going to give them what's $25 times 100 is 2,500, right? So it'll be equivalent to getting 2,500 credits from ChatGPT. We could do that today. So the price, folks, is it may get to the point, I'm telling you, where we almost say we don't even limit the credits anymore. Because if we could give $2,500 worth of credits for $25, you pretty much can say unlimited within fair use. Little asterisks, say, look, whatever, don't abuse the API. It's getting to the point where for $25, you can give unlimited amount of data. And then you tie that to Grok. And you've seen the output. You ask, and it goes, it doesn't go like this. It goes, you get a page and a half of data, just goes like that. So instead of watching it print,
does it also start every email by saying, "I hope this email finds you well"?
Well, it's a language model, right? So let's take a lock at my screen. Let's see how fast this is.
This is the
Let me give
biggest
you an example.
giveaway.
So let's go over to Grok, GROQ. Hopefully I'm logged in. It depends on. Okay, so here I am. Now I can choose the model. I can use Gemini. I could use Llama. I'm going to use Mixtral 7B, 8x7B. This model you can say is somewhere between ChatGPT 3.5 and ChatGPT 4. And watch this, Matt. You need to watch the screen here. Who is Ben Franklin? So not only am I using Mixtral, but I'm using Grok, which is a
Mike, we lost you. We have no more audio from you, Mike.
There we go.
Are we back?
There you go. You're back.
Okay. I'm not sure what happened. We had to do a reset, apparently. All right. So this company, Grok, just look them up on YouTube. CNBC just featured them. 60 Minutes, we'll be talking about them. Basically, they're a new chip competitor to NVIDIA, and they've created a new chip format that works with language models. It's a language model that, what do they call it? A large, it's a LLM based chip. The bottom line is it's 100 times faster than even things at NVIDIA right now, Matt. As big as NVIDIA is, it's a custom chip meant
Just
for
for
language.
LLMs.
So watch
LLM
this.
inference.
Watch the output. Who is
That's
Ben?
the one they're going to put in our brain eventually.
Take a look. All right. So did you see that? Did you see that? I mean, literally, was that insane? So I'm going to just say now here, make it 10 times longer.
Holy
Okay. I mean, so it basically said it did it in 2.41 seconds. The first one was 1 second, where ChatGPT would have taken about 14 seconds. You would have just seen it. You always hear me say, let me hit stop so we don't have to watch the paint dry. Imagine, literally right now, we could put this technology into Groove.AI, lower the cost by 100, and get the speed going that fast. So what you're going to be seeing soon in Groove.AI is the choice. You're going to be addicted to this ChatGPT. Oh, it's the latest model. It's the best model. I just want the best output. Yeah, then you're going to pay more money and you're going to watch paint dry as you watch the tokens. If you say to yourselves, I want to save some of my tokens and not have to keep buying rollover packs and different things like that and get faster output that's nearly just as good, if you ask me, you'll have a choice. You're going to see drop downs that say anything that we can use with Grok. We're going to say Llama, powered by Grok. Google's Gemini, powered by Grok. Mixtral, powered by Grok. And if new models come up, they'll be there. And then you're going to see ChatGPT and Claude, which are their own separate APIs, which are slower and more affordable because this is becoming a commodity. It's a race to the bottom. At the end of the day, we all win. And at the end of the day, the cost is going down by huge factors. And the price, this is like the modem. We're going to be going, do you remember when we used to pay 2 cents for 1,000 words and we thought that was a good deal? We're going to be looking at this in a couple of years like dial-up modem. It's just going to get faster and more affordable. So you're going to be, so to answer all of the questions for everybody, are you guys going to be adding these models? Yes. They're going to come in. We have to build a metering system for each one of these tokens. And then the last thing I want to let you know is that, Stability AI has all of these models that they've put into this thing here. You can look at it at clipdrop.com. Clipdrop, by the way, just recently bought by Jasper. You'll see it here, bought by Jasper. We don't know. It was a private deal. Stability AI needed cash, sold this to Jasper. Here's the funny thing. Jasper paid for something, which is every one of these things right now, Artie, every one of these things is open source, available 100% at Stability. You could go to Stability AI. You can see all of these open source things. If you go to models and you look at, let's say, image, you'll see that they have XCL Turbo. Basically, these are all the same exact things that are there. And so they created this site called ClipDrop to show off all of these tools that remove background, turn a 320 pixel into 4K, out painting, in painting, put the mouse over here and say add a hat. All of these things are available. Face swap.
And all of those, a lot of those features will be added to Groove AI.
That's my point.
directly.
Is there's actually two things I want to let you guys know. Artie, you'll be happy to know about this. There are user interface versions, clones of ClipDrop that are on GitHub that we could get. And then there are people that even say, we'll host it for you. So they'll host it, and then we figure out the metering, and it's just an API to those people, so we don't have to actually build the engine that's processing all the images. And so even though this stuff is open source, Artie, you're familiar with this. Like
Yes.
it's basically people that host a
I
language
was going to
model.
say, so this is all very exciting stuff. All these models, they are getting more diversified, and the costs are going down. They're becoming more powerful in terms of the speed and accuracy that they provide. It's still, obviously, the cost factor doesn't go away completely, because you still need
Correct.
to do inference, meaning you need to use those models. So
There'll be a token
it's like
meter system.
buying the car gets cheaper by the day, but you still need to buy gas.
There you go.
Right? And you still need to maintain it. So in a similar fashion, hosting even an open source model at a certain level of efficiency where it becomes useful to a certain number of users at any given time requires some serious hosting infrastructure still.
Yeah, I still prefer to do like the Pinecone thing. Like our model is most likely going to be that we are going to use the open source model, but it's hosted on Amazon. Like Amazon is basically telling you, by the way, you want to use Llama? Don't put it on your own server and scale. They are giving you Llama, Mixtral, Stability, all of these things, Google Colabs, and Google. They're available, open source, plug in directly, and then you pay Amazon for it. And since
and it's honestly, it's quite difficult to set up right as well.
it's so much easier to do it that way.
Very
You're
similar
correct.
to like WordPress is free. You still need to host it on some VPS.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
It's the same. It's the
the
same
same, yeah.
approach.
Yeah, and so that's
we'll
what
bring
we're
all
gonna be
that
doing.
to you guys within the app, and you don't have to worry about it.
And I want to be frank here, guys, and this is we have to call this out, right? When is imaging coming? It's a cool feature that it's going to be in the app, and so yes, it's coming, and all of these different features are going to be coming this year. What we also have to say is that they're available everywhere for free, right? So as much as we're excited to bring it to the app, you could go to Bing right now and create, free images, 25 free images a day. You can get 25 from Leonardo, 25 from DALL-E in your ChatGPT. So we're going to add it into the app so that you have your workflow, but we're not going to act like, we've created the world's best technology. Image generation is everywhere now. It's just these things are being built in everywhere. So that pretty much wraps up the Groove.AI. And Artie, any last things that you want to say? And then Matt, you can stick around. Matt and I will close.
Oh, this was a great opportunity to actually, get closer to our users. And I know the community is very involved with our with us and with the product. Just know that we have a fantastic team in place, and we're working, firing on all cylinders to, improve the user experience, improve the application that we have, and strive for even higher levels of efficiency and
yeah.
I
Hey,
think
if you
it's
guys
fair
can,
to say it's a baby compared to
Mike
what
Jones,
it's
on that camera angle, when you have there, if you could widen and not cut off Matt, that'll be a little better now that we're back to 3. I want to say this, Artie, while you're here with all the members. If you see the level of focus that we have with David Lemon and Artie and Husni and Leo and all the people behind the scenes. I think it's just important for all of you at home to understand that if you see me doing something that we're building for Groove, and you're seeing us talk about Groove Agency or the Traffic Syndicate, which is an important part of the Groove ecosystem, for us to have the ability to do workshops here and teach people traffic so they can be more successful. I don't ever want you to feel like they're not keeping their eye on the ball or they're distracted. Artie comes to the office here twice a week. We sit for 3 hours. We take the time to do this, but then we have the right people on the team, that are managing the development of those things. You don't want me managing and working with every single one of the 27 developers that we have in the company. We have the leads and partners in the company that handle those things. So as you can see, Artie, this is the most technical state of the union, Groovion, that we've done. Normally, we're talking about more features, but what we wanted to do for the first time, maybe the last time, is peel back the curtain and let you know that there's some good stuff that maybe could be quite boring to some of you, right?
I mean, sometimes it's a little bit, hurtful to see on a Facebook group somebody says you're forgetting about Groove.CM because you're worried about AI, and
yeah, no,
we have no ideas the amount of things that went on to release that new refactored application. Like that, just the amount of work that was put into it, and the amount of resources, the amount of people, and it took a full 6 months, which gave a false impression that nothing was going on.
Yeah, I will say this:
we wanted a surprise, and at the end, it kind of wasn't as much of a surprise effect, I guess.
We have a good team. I'm gonna just say this with a little smile on my face. For me, it's water off of a duck's back. I know, and many of my friends that own companies they don't boo the people on the bench, right? They only boo the people at center field, right? So you got to get out there and do something, and sometimes you trip up, you have an error, or whatever the case is. But I can tell you, water off a duck's back for me is completely different than the team. We have people in the team that it puts them in tears. We have people in the support desk. We have Matt, we have Husni, we have all of these people that work very, very hard, and everything that is said, they take it personally. And we have Robert Murray communicating with Artie, communicating with Husni. We have a team that's working out there. I think one of the things that we've learned, and something I always say whenever there's a problem, there was a communication breakdown. I think likely when my Facebook account got hacked and I didn't go on Facebook for
that sure didn't help.
Right. I used it as an excuse to, I'm so mad at Facebook. I don't know. It's still not even on my phone. So there's been a lack of engagement. I don't want to say from leadership, but from this guy right here. I'm going to make sure that we get more involved. There was less to say during the refactoring.
How many times can you say, guys, we're putting up new code is going to be incredible without actually showing anything?
Yeah, I want to come up and I want to talk about exciting stuff, and I can't wait to. So when there's nothing exciting, guess who you don't hear from? David Lemon. You don't hear from me. Robert Murray is going in.
But if you're a geek, it's exciting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not for the users though.
I like it. Yeah, I know it.
But yeah, so we understand the communication is going to get better. We're going to schedule a Groove AI training, but there's going to be some really, really exciting things happening. And so, as Steve Jobs would say, and now Tim Cook says, there's one more thing, and the one more thing is usually something very exciting. And we are not going to bury the lead and do the one more thing, the biggest announcement in Groove history. We're not going to do that today because it's 3 hours. Is it 3? It's 3 hours and 2 minutes into the webinar, into the live stream, the State of the Groovion. It's time for us to end. And thank you for coming. And we're going to be doing this again. Donna, you don't need to come on and correct me unless I'm wrong. It'll be Thursday at 1 p.m. We're going to be going for about another 2 hours, and we're going to be revealing the one more thing. So we have something that's that we're pretty excited about for Groove. Some of you think you might know what it is. I've alluded to it in one of my videos.
And you're probably right.
I guarantee they're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have an idea, but when you see how it stacks and it stacks and it stacks and it stacks and it stacks, yeah, we've got some exciting things coming. I also want to just say, just before we wrap up, that there's AI is going to be Groove. There's Groove AI, but one of the things we didn't talk about that we should just end with is that we're going to be bringing AI in line into the Groove.CM app, where if you're in Groove Pages and you just want to write a quick blog post, you'll be able to click where it says clone or settings. There'll be a little wizard that says AI. But the one more thing,
But I think Artie took it to the next level. Why even click? Just tell GrooveCM, I want you to write a blog post for me.
well,
And then
we have a whole nother day to talk about stuff. We're not going into that. Just letting people know that Groove.CM is going to have its own AI capabilities, and we're gonna leave it right there. We have some really exciting stuff for you. We want to thank you all for joining us today for this very unconventional, tech-heavy. I'm sure it could be boring. There was maybe some of you were falling asleep there, but we wanted to show you that that the right people are at the helm doing this as we build this beautiful company, and we're excited for the state of the Groovion Part 2. Call it one more thing. Major announcement coming up on Thursday, 48 hours from now, Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. You don't want to miss it. Let everybody know. Get Paul Revere. Groove is coming. Groove is coming. Groove is coming. You want to let everybody know about what's coming next.
And like Mike said, it's not what you think.
It's what you think, but better. All right, we'll leave it right there. And Donna, you could take us out unless you want to come in and say we missed something or there were some questions, but I don't.